This is ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Happy New Year and welcome to the Outback Bowl. We're at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida for the first college football game of 2010, featuring the Northwestern Wildcats from the Big Ten and the Auburn Tigers from the SEC. Dave Pasch, Chris Spielman, Bob Greasy, and Rob Stone with you. We're just moments away from kickoff. We're expecting to see two up-tempo, no-huddle offenses on display. Guys, how are they different?
Well, for Northwestern, it's very simple. They pass to set up the run. And that means Mike Kafka, their outstanding senior quarterback, has got to have a good day. He is their leading rusher and, of course, their leading passer.
When you look at Auburn, they want to run at super speed, high tempo. They're a downhill running football team. They're run first. They're a two-back football team. And what they try to do is they try to confuse you with a bunch of different looks and formations and motions and all kind of potions and everything. But they're very simple in what they do, the ISO game and the power game.
One of the worst offenses in college football last year, one of the best this year.
Northwestern. Auburn.
Yep.
They went from over 100 near the bottom of the teams offensively to near the top in the top 20 this year, mainly because of offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn.
Auburn has won the toss and deferred, so Northwestern will receive. Wildcats with 8 wins, playing in their first New Year's Day Bowl since their head coach Pat Fitzgerald was a player in the 1997 Citrus Bowl. And how about that? Auburn getting ready to kick off, and Wes Byram pulled up.
They did that against Alabama, and it worked. An onside kick, and they did a fake right there at the beginning of the game.
And Byram with a deep kick that'll sail 5 yards deep. Stephen Simmons will take a knee. It'll come out to the 20, where Mike Kafka, some think, is the best quarterback in the Big Ten.
I'm one of them. I think he is the best quarterback in the Big Ten with his arm, his accuracy, and his ability to run the football. He's a weapon for the Wildcats, and he needs a big day. Let's face it, guys. For Northwestern to be in this game, Mike Kafka has to shine.
He was named second team All Big Ten, but led the league in completion percentage and fewest interceptions thrown. He also, as you talked about, being a dual threat, had 7 rushing touchdowns. The first snap of college football in a new decade as Kafka completes it on 1st and 10 out to the 25-yard line to Zeke Markshausen, his 80th catch of the year, former walk-on. Kafka, a senior from Chicago.
No huddle, up to the line of scrimmage.
Kafka gonna run, and Josh Bynes brings him down after maybe a half a yard. As you can tell, it's been raining throughout the morning. We'll get more in-depth weather report with Rob Stone shortly. 3rd and 5 for Northwestern. Very good on 3rd down during the season. In fact, 10th in the country in 3rd down conversion rate. They go empty, and Kafka to throw. He's going to get hit, and it goes through the hands of Concannon, and a diving interception by Walter McFadden. McFadden was here in Tampa as a fan watching his brother Bryant win the Super Bowl with the Steelers a year ago, and now he gets an interception to start 2010.
That's just great ball skills. That's his 5th interception of the year, and a big break for Auburn early in this ball game.
Starts up front with pressure. Pressure's your best pass defense. Antoine Carter, number 45, comes in, gets the hit on Kafka. Although Kafka delivered a catchable ball, again, hustling tip drill, McFadden with the seal.
First look at Gus Malzahn's offense for the Auburn Tigers, which was very good this year. Big hit by Davey, breaking up a pass intended for Ben Tate out of the backfield. Chris Todd set the school record for touchdown passes this year with 21. They weren't even sure he was going to be on the roster after not performing in spring because he had shoulder surgery last year. out of the air, finds Fannin. And Fannin able to break a tackle, but good pursuit to the football by Brendan Smith. Taking a look at our starting lineups for the Auburn Tigers. Tate and Fannin, both very good runners and pass catchers. And Darvin Adams has become their go-to wide receiver and their big play threat. Pretty good offensive line. Lee Zimba making his 38th straight start on the left side. Third and 10. Here's a blitz. Todd gets it away. Low throw is caught for a first down. Darvin Adams pulls it in. A gain of 11.
We talked about a pretty good offensive line. It starts right there, Dave, with the protection to allow Chris Todd to allow Darvin Adams to clear the man-to-man coverage and make a nice adjustment on a wet field for the low catch. Offensive line, stout.
Here's Tate on the run. Slips one tackle inside the 15. Brought down at the 14 by Brad Phillips, but there's a penalty flag down. The Northwestern starters on defense, they're led by Corey Wooten. Some think could be a second or first round NFL draft pick. David Arnold missed most of the season with an injury, but he's back.
5 men in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And you see Brendan Smith, number 4, back in the lineup. He's the first Northwestern player ever to start in 3 bowl games. He had a thumb injury earlier in the year, missed 3 games. So after the penalty, it's first down and 15. Another inside handoff. Tate with room inside the 10, heading for the pylon, out of bounds. They say stepped out inside the 2.
It's a nice call by Gus Malzahn, the offensive coordinator. Good blocking up front. And Tate, who had nearly 1,300 yards rushing this year, I don't know, he may have gotten into the end zone. Knee may have touched down.
But Auburn goes so fast that I don't know if the technical advisor has time to review it. And Cody Burns in, running the Wildcat, and he scores. Auburn on the board after the interception. They take it down and score. Cody Burns with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. He is their Wildcat quarterback. Byram on for the point after. 7-0 Auburn.
Starts at the point, at the line of scrimmage. Direct snap. Cody Burns. I'm a running back, I'm a quarterback, I'm a receiver. Guess what? I'm a touchdown maker.
Walter McFadden's interception for Auburn off a tipped pass that Scott Concannon could not pull in. Gives Auburn the short field. And the Tigers punch it in. Touchdown run by Corey Burns. 7-0 Tigers were kicking off again. A shorter kick this time. And Simmons fields it at the 5-yard line. Out across the 20. He'll get stuck at the 23-yard line. Hi, everybody. Dave Pash with a couple of Hall of Famers. Bob Greasy in the Pro and College Football Halls of Fame. Chris in the College Football Hall of Fame, as well as the Bloomin' Onion
there you go.
Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
That's a pretty special award.
Does that mean he ate so many blooming onions?
He did, yes. He set the record.
He does that.
Guys, you talk about an offense. Auburn, we know how talented they've been over the years at the running back position. And we're seeing another good one here with Ben Tate. Can Northwestern now counter what Auburn did with the short field getting a touchdown? Kafka going to the air, and it's complete to Markshausen for a gain of about 7.
Well, you know how they counter is not make a mental error. That long run that Ben Tate had in the last drive, there was a mental error. On defense, you always have somebody that's contained, that has to force the ball inside the pursuit. You had 600 pounds of beef of Auburn pulling around. There's nobody forcing the ball inside. So you're not going to stop them if you do that.
On second down, everybody covered. Kafka takes off and close to the first down as he slid. Looks like he's got it. Nick Fairley was there for Auburn defensively.
Short huddle right at the ball.
They did not give him the first down there, so it's 3rd down and a yard from the 33-yard line. They need to get this here. And going to be close. Jacob Schmidt, who is their short yardage back. He's their heaviest back, and he weighs only 200 pounds. He did get the first down as we look at the starters on offense for the Northwestern Wildcats. Second team All Big Ten quarterback Mike Kafka. And on the outside, Mark Sausen, the former walk-on, has become a star at the receiver position, along with Andrew Brewer, former quarterback. And their offensive line starts freshmen and sophomores. And this is an 8-win team. There's a shovel pass to Dunsmore, their super back as they call it, out of a hybrid tight end / H-back. He's out to the 40.
Nice little play call right there. They ran the option in the first series without the option to pitch a shovel pass. That's a nice little counter. Now Auburn has to be able to react to both the option and the underneath option that Dunsmore just received.
Flag down, and Kafka has Dunsmore again. Breaks a tackle at the 45 and bumped out at the 40-yard line, a gain of 19, but we'll wait and see what the penalty is.
Offside, number 52 of the defense. Penalties declined. First down.
Greg Burks, part of a Big 12 officiating crew today.
Dunsmore's going to come from the right side to our left. Nice little throw right over the middle. Easy completion and a nice run by Dunsmore.
Antonio Coleman, who led the SEC in sacks, got too quick of a jump that time. Stewart on the quick hitch to the right side, gets nothing as we check in now with the 4th member of our crew, Rob Stone.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. Schizophrenic weather here in Tampa. Huge thunderstorm rolled through about 4 a.m. Shook me out of my bed. It's been raining off and on throughout the day. And talked to Coach Fitzgerald, and he's like, hey, this is a day at the beach for Northwestern. Light rain, cloudy overcast. This is beautiful. They've played through worse. For Auburn, they've had 5 rain games, 2 rain delays as well. He said the only concern for Coach Chiswick, wind. If it gets about 15 miles per hour, then it's going to start altering their pass game. Otherwise, they're going to keep pounding it away with Ben Tate and company.
And Northwestern pounding it there with Schmidt for a couple of yards. Notice, though, how no weather affects the hair of Rob Stone. Guys, how about the footing for the players today? How big of a problem is it?
Well, I think they have resodded this field because normally this time of year, this field in this stadium does not look this good. And I think some of that sod down there is a little bit loose. It'll be a factor today.
Especially with Auburn's defense, guys. They like to play a lot of man-to-man.
And Bynes offside. Second offside penalty on this drive by Auburn.
Prior to the snap, offsides, number 17 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The Auburn defense last in the SEC in points allowed, in part because they're on the field so much. Antonio Coleman, outstanding pass rusher. He's a senior, came back after he could have gone pro last year. Antoine Carter now healthy. That's helped Coleman have the type of year that he's had. And McFadden had the pick earlier in the game to set up that first Auburn touchdown. Kafka to the air, dumps it off. Dunsmore going to hit short. Nico Thorpe brought him down about a yard shy of the first down. We'll see what Northwestern does on 4th. It looks like they're planning to go.
That's a very similar play. Dunsmore crossing that they hit just a little while back. This time Thorpe says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm making this tackle short. 4th down and 1.
How about this decision, guys, early in the game to go on 4th down?
Absolutely, you go for it.
Oh, yeah.
You have nothing to lose. It's the bowl game, start of a new year.
Northwestern letting the play clock run down, and then we'll call a timeout. Maybe talk more about what play to run or whether Pat Fitzgerald wants to change his mind. Midway through the opening quarter, the first college football game of 2010. It's 7-0 Auburn at the Outback Bowl.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl. is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Want to see Tim McGraw live in Australia? Text Outback to 76060. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And the 2010 Ram trucks. Give Tough a smarter name. Ram.
Auburn and Northwestern have been in Tampa all week. Players, fans, and bands headed to Clearwater Beach for a tug-of-war battle won by Auburn. Tigers winning the game as well right now, 7-0. Northwestern faced with a 4th down and short from the Auburn 31-yard line.
You got press man-to-man coverage, athlete versus athlete.
Kafka, the quarterback, and a rollout and throw, and Stewart makes the catch as Northwestern picks up the first down to the 26-yard line.
It's a nice little pick play right there, bringing Stewart across the formation, making his man go over the top to cover to give him room to work, and you have the 2 Northwestern outside wide receivers running a pick, allowing Stewart an open lane to the flat. Well executed. Good call.
R.B. Fields in the game at running back. We'll see about 3 or 4 different backs for Northwestern and about 7 or 8 different receivers. There's Jeremy Ebert, his 16th catch on the year. Gets about 6 or 7.
What you're seeing is what we said before. Northwestern throws the pass to set up the run, and a lot of these things are short passes because that sets up your run, or that's like a running play, as a matter of fact.
They say that Ebert stepped out of bounds at the 27, so only a 3-yard gain, and then Kafka gets a handful running the ball to the left. Goggins brings him down just short of the first down marker. 12th play of this drive coming up for the Wildcats.
The amazing thing to me is that the tempo that these 2 offenses operate, and one thing you have to look at is the tremendous amount of conditioning that these teams on the offensive line have to do and how well they're conditioned. I mean, I'm looking at these offensive linemen on both sides, and they keep coming off the ball in a hurry-up way.
3rd and 2. They go empty again. Kafka with time and hits Markshausen in between the numbers for another Northwestern first down. Let's take a look now at the Wildcat impact players.
Well, the impact guy right here is Mike Kafka, the quarterback. He's outstanding, very smart, makes good decisions. We have, of course, Zeke Markshausen, his favorite target. 1 catch last year, about 81 so far, including this game this year. And on the other side, number 52, Antonio Coleman, 6.5 sacks the last 5 games.
Kafka to throw again with time. Going to the end zone. Incomplete through the hands of Brewer. Might have been out of bounds anyway had he caught it. But to your point earlier, Chris, about Kafka, he's a guy that towards the end of the season has really become a terrific passer.
Well, the other thing is he had the hamstring. He got the hamstring in the first half of the Penn State game when Northwestern had the Penn State Nittany Lions on the ropes. But I watched him all year, watched a lot of film on him, and I don't know where he's rated, but I know this. I'll promise you he'll be on the NFL roster next year.
Back-to-back 300-yard passing games, including 326 in the win against Wisconsin to close the regular season. Quarterback draw. Kafka inside the 10 and lunges to the first down marker at the 4-yard line.
This is what makes him so very dangerous. Even when they spread it left to right and there's nobody in the backfield, there is a passer there and there is a runner in Mike Kafka there. Like I said, he gained over 400 yards rushing this year. He was the leading rusher on this ball club.
Pat Fitzgerald telling the Northwestern crowd to settle down a bit. They sold their complete allotment of tickets, about 11,000, and the enrollment at Northwestern is only 8,000. First down and goal for Kafka and company.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another run by Kafka.
Play clock at 1. They did not get it off. Delay on the Whites.
Prior to the snap, delay on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, coming up later today on ABC, it's the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Ohio State taking on Oregon, and then Thursday, January 7th at 8 Eastern on ABC, Texas and Alabama in the Citi BCS National Championship game.
I played in a lot of games in college and a lot of games in pro. I forget a lot of games, but I'll never forget the game that I played at the Rose Bowl, Chris. You played there too, I know.
You look at those matchups right there. Ohio State hasn't seen an offense like Oregon and Oregon hasn't seen a defense like Ohio State.
Kafka's pass nearly intercepted by Nico Thorpe. Guys, the Big Ten has lost 6 consecutive BCS games. How big is it for the conference for Ohio State to beat Oregon today?
Well,
as we look at the near interception here by Thorpe.
Well, I think the national perception for Ohio State is down. I mean, yeah, they're good in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten perception nationally is down. So it's important for them to go out and beat a quote-unquote speed team like the Oregon Ducks.
Big Ten 1-1 this year in bowl games as Schmidt stumbles and tries to crawl, but his knee was already down at the 6-yard line. Last year, the Big Ten was just 1-6 in bowl games, and the lone win was here at the Outback when Iowa knocked off South Carolina.
So far this year, the Big Ten is 1-1. Minnesota getting beat yesterday.
And Wisconsin knocking off Miami, Champ Sports Bowl, earlier in the week. 3rd and goal for Northwestern.
And you got Brewer right here in the slot. He's a big target, about 6'3". Obviously an advantage down in the red zone.
Kafka gets the pass away, and McFadden makes a great play. His 2nd interception. He might take it to the house. Nobody gonna catch McFadden. Touchdown Auburn. Wow. Penalty flag came in at the end, likely for the celebration by McFadden before he reached the end zone. What a way to start 2010, guys.
We're talking to McFadden yesterday at practice, and he said Coach Roof is going to let us earn our scholarships today. He's going to let us play a lot of man coverage. Normally an outside cornerback, he's covering inside the slot guy.
Dead ball.
Markshausen.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 6 of Auburn. That 15-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff.
100-yard interception return for a touchdown on the 17th play of the drive for Northwestern.
That ball was late and inside.
That was good coverage, too.
Very good.
Extra point good. And how about McFadden? Again, less than a year ago was here, watching as a fan his brother Bryant McFadden win a Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he might single-handedly win the Outback Bowl for Auburn. He's led them to 2 scores, one directly, one indirectly. Auburn Tigers have had the ball for a minute and a half, yet they lead 14-0 over Northwestern. However, because of a celebration penalty on McFadden, unsportsmanlike conduct, Auburn kicking off from its 15-yard line.
You know, I get upset about that because I think it's a selfish decision, and I understand the emotions getting caught up in the bowl game. McFadden just run the ball into the end zone. Don't go Elmo right on everybody with the high knees. Run it in and celebrate with 11 guys. And then you put your team in a bad position where Northwestern could possibly take advantage of good field position.
2nd touchdown of the year for McFadden, his 6th interception. Simmons on the return. Out across the 30-yard line and stood up around the 33. If you want to see Tim McGraw live in Australia, text the word Outback to 76060 to participate in Outback's Adventure Sweepstakes. And you'll hear from Tim shortly. He'll be down on the field with Rob Stone. Bob, I know you talked with Tim just before the game.
So I'm up here in the press box, and he called me Mr. Greasy, and I told him I liked his music.
Now, he wasn't talking to Brian, was he? Because I know Brian's here doing the game on ESPN Radio.
No, Brian wasn't around at that point.
You made sure of that, huh?
Yeah.
It was just one-on-one between you and McGraw. Here Simmons spins out of a tackle and gets about 4. Nico Thorpe made the stop. Here's Brian doing the game with Bob Wischusen for ESPN Radio.
I wonder if he's making excuses for the quarterbacks like somebody else I know.
Of course he is.
Kafka whirled to the turf after a gain of 1 by Craig Stevens.
I'm not sure if running the option is the best way to run on this Auburn defense, who's naturally aggressive. They play man-to-man, and they're playing downhill.
Well, right now, Mike Kafka, the quarterback, is scarred mentally a little bit because he's had the ball for 2 possessions, and they've both ended in interceptions.
And we touched on the fact that he had the fewest interceptions in the Big Ten during the regular season. Kafka's got Markshausen wide open. First down, and he fights off DeAntoine Hood and gets near midfield.
Those are man beaters right there. And what I mean by man beaters is you have 3 guys out to one side, and it's a bunch formation, and you run picks, so defensive backs have to avoid other bodies or receivers coming over. Then, of course, Hood couldn't get in time to get to Markshausen. Good timing by Northwestern on the route and the throw.
There's that shovel pass again to Dunsmore, and it works again. Brought down at the 43-yard line. Got close to 9. Hood and Bates team up on the stop.
It's a play you'll see tonight when Florida and Cincinnati get together. Tim Tebow, he's got the option to throw it forward or throw it backwards.
Inside handoff to Fields, but a penalty down. It's going to be on Auburn. They were shuffling guys in and out of there.
Dead ball foul. Illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So another defensive penalty on Auburn.
Well, that's the object of the no-huddle offense on both sides. If you see them try to substitute, usually have a quick audible, or the center's aware and you snap the ball, either get 12 men on the field or the illegal substitution. That's why many teams run the no-huddle.
Saw Ted Roof. He's in his first year at Auburn. He was at Minnesota last year as the defensive coordinator. Here's Fields on the inside run. Going nowhere. Brought down for a loss by Nico Thorpe as we check in with Rob Stone on the field.
Yeah, I'm with Tim McGraw right now. He's upset that he didn't get to meet Chris Spielman, and can you blame him, right?
No, I didn't see Chris. I saw Mr. Greasy walk by. But, yeah.
It's Mr. Spielman, too.
Well, Mr. Spielman. I would call him Mr. Spielman, actually, if I ever saw him.
Hey, first question for all the ladies out there. What's going on upstairs here on the face?
I'm starting a movie in a week, and so this is part of the deal with the movie.
Kafka hits Brewer for a Northwestern touchdown.
Touchdown, Northwestern.
A bounce back by the Wildcats after the interception.
It shows a lot of class and character and guts by the quarterback Kafka. After throwing 2 interceptions, comes back and moving his feet around, makes a perfect throw. Brewer in the end zone for a touchdown that gets him back in the ball game.
Well, when you run tight man coverage, eventually you got to throw the rock down the field. They did there, paid off.
13th touchdown pass of the year by Kafka. The 8th to Brewer, 39 yards, and Demos extra point makes it 14-7 Auburn. Northwestern's not going to go away. They can score. Let's go back down to Rob and Tim.
Yeah, the magic of McGraw down here for Northwestern, right? So you're telling me you got a movie coming up?
Yeah, I start working on a movie in about a week with Gwyneth Paltrow. So this is driving me crazy a little bit, but I didn't realize how much gray I had till I grew it all out.
We can get some just for men for you if you want. I have the same problem when I grow it out too, Tim, so don't worry about it. Shake it off. You got some trips headed to Australia coming up soon, right?
Going to Australia in September, I believe, is when the tour goes there. You know, Outback's sponsoring my tour next year, and we start touring in February. And now there's this whole texting program where you can text to win a trip to Australia to go. But I don't know. I can't text. I just learned to text.
Just learned. What took you so long? Who taught you?
My daughters. Yeah, my daughters taught me to text.
You've been in 2 football movies, Friday Night Lights and The Blind Side. Why kind of are these roles being drawn to you?
I don't know. You know, I'm a big football fan, you know, and I grew up playing football and love the game. And I guess those are the best scripts that I found at the time when I was looking for a script to do. And in fact, Blindside was something that I knew about and wasn't sure I wanted to do because I wasn't sure I wanted to do another football movie. And then I read the script and saw, well, it was written. I knew Sandra Bullock was going to be involved, so I couldn't turn that down.
I call her Sandy, by the way, just between you and me. Tim, thanks so much. Happy New Year, safe travels, and go upstairs. Say hi to Mr. Spielman. He's a good guy. He won't bite you.
I will. I don't want him to run over me or anything.
Hey, don't tell Tim, Rob, that even Mr. Greasy knows how to text.
No. I'm sure tweeting that is out of the question for Mr. McGraw.
Good guy. Good guy.
Meanwhile, Washington on the return for Auburn takes it out to the 25. Guys, how about Northwestern and Mike Kafka? It's a guy that was a starter in 06. He lost his job to Brett Bazinet. Came back this year and leads Northwestern to the Outback Bowl. And you can see why. He's starting to get some attention around the country and from pro scouts. Great bounce back after 2 interceptions. With a touchdown pass to Brewer. Now Todd to the air, finds Fannin out of the backfield, and he's dumped out of play after a gain of about 5. Let's take a look at our Auburn impact players.
For Auburn, first up, Chris Todd, the quarterback. As you mentioned, he set a record, of SEC record, 21 touchdown passes. He'll be involved in the ball game today. Ben Tate leads the team in rushing, almost 1,300 yards. He'll have a good day today if they get the ball and get it running.
Here's a reverse to McHale of Northwestern. Not fooled. They crunch him back at the 25-yard line. Jordan Maben read it well.
Well, Northwestern is a smart football team. One time they got outflanked. This time they're not going to get outflanked. What you see there is a crackback. That means an outside receiver comes on the inside defender. The most outside defender then must replace. Maben did a great job of reading, forcing the ball back inside, and sealing the deal with the tackle.
3rd and long. And Todd's pass off the mark. Incomplete. Intended for Darvin Adams. Auburn goes 3 and out.
And Grease and I were talking before the game that Northwestern is a team that doesn't panic. I mean, they know what they do and they trust what they do, right, Grease?
That's for sure.
Well, that goes to the head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, guys. And this is a Northwestern team that's been through a lot. These seniors for Northwestern, the last group that played for the late Randy Walker, who passed away in the summer of 06. Pat Fitzgerald was an assistant at that time. He gets a call saying, you're going to be the guy. You're going to be the head coach. And look what he's done with this program. 9 wins last year, 8 this year, as Brewer will let it bounce inside the 30. It'll be down to the 26-yard line. Now, some great games today. Our bowl lineup coming up on ABC. It's the Capital One Bowl. 3 Big Ten teams, 3 SEC teams in action. And it ends for us on ABC with the Rose Bowl game presented by City, Ohio State, Oregon.
Look at that Cincinnati-Florida game. I think that would be one of the biggest upsets in college football history because of the circumstances surrounding the game. You have 2 coaches that left Cincinnati, and Jeff Quinn's coach tonight, but then going to Buffalo. And you have one team motivated by sending Urban Meyer off to his rest with a victory.
Kafka completes it to Markshausen for a few. Do you agree with that? One of the biggest upsets in history?
No, I don't agree with that.
Of course not.
I can't agree with that, right? But what I do see on that schedule of games today is college football is going to be saying goodbye to a couple of legends, if you will. Bobby Bowden from Florida State and Tim Tebow. What a great player. What a great inspiration for college football Tebow has been.
Kafka has it complete. Another Northwestern first down. Stewart to the 46-yard line.
What a great throw this is. In between the defenders, over some, just a great throw.
Well, watch, he uses his eyes, Bob. He uses his eyes on the short receiver, which draws the corner up in cover 2 to jump the short receiver. He baits him, then he throws right between the corner and safety. And the eyes are a huge weapon for a quarterback, and I don't think enough of them use their eyes enough.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You may be right, Spiels, on Kafka. He looks impressive. Interceptions.
Right,
one of them is fault. Probably not fault. 14-7.
Of course he's right.
An entertaining first quarter in the books at the Outback Bowl. Auburn on top of Northwestern 14-7, despite the fact the Wildcats had the football for more than 12 minutes in that opening quarter. 2 turnovers by Northwestern, including a 100-yard interception return for a score by Walter McFadden, Auburn senior defensive back. First down for Northwestern from the 46. Kafka with a ton of time. And throws with 2 Wildcats around the football, and it's caught by Brewer. Brewer and Markshausen both had their hands on it, and Brewer comes up with a catch.
The reason 2 guys were there was Brewer broke off his route. He was the outside guy supposed to continue down the field. He's throwing this ball to Markshausen. Well, just so one of our guys gets it, that's all they care about.
whistle and a stoppage of play. Penalty flag down.
Previous play is under further review. Ruling on the field was catch.
Correction, they're reviewing the previous play. By the way, Antonio Coleman not on the field right now for Auburn, shaken up. They're stretching him out over on the Auburn sideline, and perhaps that's a reason why Kafka's had more time to throw here lately. He led the SEC in sacks and tackles for a loss during the regular season. Let's see whether Brewer, looks like he's got it. It looked like he was in bounds.
Yeah, he's got it. See if his foot was in bounds. Yeah, he's got it.
You know, it's interesting, and Brewer did break off his route. Normally you don't want to do that because obviously you had Markshausen coming into that same area. Why he broke out his route is the reason is because you had Hood playing corner, reading his route. He was beating Brewer where he was supposed to be, so Brewer just set it down.
Ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
And let's check in with Rob for more on Antonio Coleman.
Yeah, guys, when they brought him over to the training table, they tried to lean him back as he was sitting on it. You could visually see the pain on his face. They started rubbing his lower back. So the pain is in the lower back. That is the problem. He has not been ruled out of this game. They're going to continue to evaluate him. They've been doing some of those stretches where they pull the leg back, kind of try and loosen up the hamstring and the lower back, the same stretch as I do when I get off planes.
Well, the rest of the defensive line, Stoner, has fewer sacks than Coleman has, as Simmons gets out of one tackle and brought down by McFadden. But Auburn does not have a whole lot in the way of pass rushers outside of Coleman, so that could be a big loss. He does not return for Ted Roof's defense.
Well, you can see the game plan of Ted Roof. It's all man-to-man and bringing pressure and blitzing.
And Northwestern with the quick snap. And Dunsmore cannot come up with it. Incomplete inside the 5 with McFadden on the coverage again. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow with a pair of games. First at 5:30 Eastern, it's Arkansas and East Carolina. In the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, then at 9 Eastern, Michigan State and Texas Tech in the Valero Alamo Bowl. And, of course, no Mike Leach. Been fired by Texas Tech. And Michigan State without 11 players because of that campus brawl. Third down and 8. Get your guys' thoughts on Leach here in a moment. Play clock down to 5. Kafka again with time, overshot Markshausen. Before fourth down, guys, what were your thoughts on the whole Mike Leach situation?
Well, we're just reading and seeing what we hear, but you know, if a guy has a concussion, you don't treat him by putting him in a shed or something like that. The place he belongs is in the treatment room, to get treatment, not in a thing. So I don't know anything other than that, but I didn't like some of the things that I heard going on with it.
Here's Demos, a 48-yard try. His long in the season is from 49 yards away. This one has the leg, but it's no good. So nothing on that drive for Northwestern. It remains 14-7 Auburn. Back to the Outback Bowl and the opener of the 2010, if you will, college season underway. Mike Kafka trying to lead Northwestern to, believe it or not, its first bowl win in 61 years. But the Wildcats down 14-7. Their only bowl win was the 1949 Rose Bowl against Cal. Since then, they have lost 6 straight bowl games, including an overtime thriller in the Valero Alamo Bowl a year ago to Missouri. Auburn taking over after the missed field goal. Nowhere to go for Ben Tate. Let's take a look back with our Mazda Drive recap. And the interception by McFadden, his first interception, then a long run by Tate, which set up the 1-yard touchdown run by Burns. The other touchdown scored by McFadden on a length of the field, INT for a score. Out on the flat it goes, running room. Adams across midfield. And all the way to the 42-yard line. Boy, Gene Chizik, in his first year as a head coach at Auburn, Really picked a good coordinator in Gus Malzahn. He's been able to dial him up, not just at Auburn, but at Tulsa, and prior to that at Arkansas.
Well, I tell you, Zimba, the offensive tackle, did a great job of operating in space on Maven, the corner.
Ben Tate on the carry, stood up and ripped down by Brad Phillips at the 37-yard line.
He's got a little pressure on him because the number of plays, 33 plays for Northwestern, only 8 so far in this game, maybe 10 right now after this drive, but he hasn't had the ball much.
Well, Malzahn's done a great job. Here's a guy that was a high school coach a handful of years ago, and now he's one of the most sought-after coordinators in the country. As that deep pass by Todd is over the head of Cody Burns, ex-quarterback. Malzahn has put Auburn in a position where likely today they'll set the single-season school record for total offense. After being one of the worst in the country a year ago, when Tommy Tuberville was the head coach, Tony Franklin for at least half a season was their offensive coordinator before he was let go. Really a tumultuous year in 2008, but a great turnaround by Gene Chizik, Gus Malzahn and company. Auburn with 7 wins. Todd in trouble. Gets away from one defender. And then throws it short of his intended receiver, Terrell Zachary. It'll bring up 4th down. Let's compare what Auburn did a year ago offensively to 2009.
Well, the numbers really tell the tale. On the left side, they were 119th in red zone. Points per game, 110th. This year, much improved, near the top in every category.
See what Malzahn dials up here on 4th down. You guys agree with this move? Go for it on 4th and 4?
Oh, that, or you're going to do a little quick kick here by Chris Todd as you see the formation change.
No, he's going to throw it. And his pass is low, but it is ruled a catch. Darvin Adams went down, and now they're saying it's incomplete. The initial ruling was a completion, but the umpire came in. He said he had a better view of it and said it's incomplete.
Well, here's the umpire right down here.
See the ball coming in. Yeah, his hands are underneath, the arms are underneath. To me, that looked like a good catch.
Well, every play in college football is reviewed, and they're going to further review this play. Again, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field, which was incomplete. Now, you're right, Chris, it does look there like a catch.
I look at the forearms. You see the forearms are underneath between the ground and the football, and he's securing that football. And they were in like a short punt formation. That was to protect against any outside blitz, and Todd throws a low ball where only his guy can get it. And to me, the forearms were between the body and the ball in the ground.
We'll come back and see if it is indeed incomplete and Northwestern ball.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Want to see Tim McGraw live in Australia? Text Outback to 76060. Allstate, proud sponsor of college football and the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? And Yellow Book, the moment you need it, Yellow Book it.
And part of the adventure at the Outback Bowl, the team's heading to Busch Gardens to see an exotic touchdown dance there. A moment ago, the call by referee Greg Burks.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. 1st down, Northwestern.
So they feel that there was not enough video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field, which was incomplete.
He got his arms underneath the ball, but there was, from one of those angles, the tip of the ball may have come out and touched the ground. So it all depends on the who's looking at it. The replay operator, it all depends on him.
It's a Big 12 crew. Kafka, and they tried that little shovel pass, and it worked earlier, but not that time. Jake Ricks was all over Dunsmore. A loss on the play of a couple.
Ted Roof's doing a good job of adjusting, because that's basically the only running play that has hurt. And you see Ricks just reading it, not chasing number 9, Dunsmore, to follow the play. Is able to secure the tackle. The next time you might want to try to sneak in there and pick that sucker off, because if it is dropped, it's an incomplete pass as opposed to the backward lateral.
Dunsmore scored the go-ahead touchdown in a win at Iowa to end the Hawkeyes' undefeated season. Northwestern had some big wins this year as about 4 offensive linemen jumped that time.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 75 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, just to go back to that call, and I know it doesn't go on the stat sheet as a turnover, but it's the same thing as a turnover. Something that you thought you had, it looked like you had, but it ended up being a big play for Northwestern. Just keep that in mind, because that's down in the red zone where Auburn is very efficient as an offense in the red zone.
Now back-to-back negative plays, including at false start. Kafka trying to get some of it back. And he gets to the 35-yard line. Antonio Coleman is back on the field, so he's playing despite a low back problem. Made the play there. Led the SEC in tackles for a loss and in sacks. He also had an interception return for a touchdown this year. A handful of defensive touchdowns for Auburn, including one in this game, which right now is the difference. And Kafka with a long throw from the far hash to the near sideline. Markshausen cannot make the catch. Incomplete.
He wants to throw the flag. It was a long throw, and Kafka didn't have any room to step into this.
Even if they were to review this further, it'd still be 4th down.
Coleman applying the pressure. The back seems to be loosening. And as Bob mentioned, when you make that type of throw, you got to get your legs into it, or it's never going to get there. I don't care how strong and long you have.
Stefan Demos, whose long punt of the year is 47 yards. His long field goal is 49. Go figure that one. He's both the punter and the place kicker. Rolls that one down near the 20. Well, Pat Fitzgerald and the Northwestern Wildcats trying to win their 9th game of the season, but they trail Auburn, which is in search of win number 8, 14-7. Auburn's defense done a pretty good job on Northwestern's offense the last couple of possessions. The Tigers holding a 7-point lead here in the 2010 Outback Bowl. Dave Pasch, Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman, Rob Stone. Northwestern with 8 wins on the year. Auburn with 7. The Tigers were under 500 a year ago. Gene Chizik in his first year as the head coach here at Auburn, former defensive coordinator. And Ben Tate on first down gets about 15 on the ground. Rose Bowl game presented by Citi coming up later today on ABC. Terrell Pryor in his last 3 games. All wins. Numbers don't jump out at you. How well has he played?
Coach Tressel took the ball out of his hands. They've been running for 200 yards a game.
Tate takes a shot there to the legs by Maven, gain of a couple.
I think this is the start of 2010 season for Ohio State and Terrell Pryor. I think Tressel is going to, you know, he's going to be a junior. He's been here. He knows how to take care of the ball. He knows how to throw. He knows the system mainly. That's the big thing. I think he's going to loosen the ropes on him a little bit today going into next year.
Well, he hinted at that at the beginning of bowl practice, that he was going to do that. I got to see it to believe it, though.
Todd completes it right at the first down marker to Adams. And that Rose Bowl game presented by Citi is on ABC at 4:30 Eastern.
I know Chris was out there, and then we played. Did you go to Lowry's, the steakhouse?
Yeah.
Is that
Beef Bowl.
You know, way back, that place has been there a long time, because way back when I played, we went there.
Yeah, well, you know it's been there a long time.
You didn't have to say that.
Oh, we had to get it in at some point. You knew it was coming.
I know, you guys.
Cody Burns in the game at quarterback. He scored a rushing touchdown in the first quarter and gets 9 there before Brad Phillips makes the stop. Corey Wooten on the sideline. You can only imagine that it's because of injury, because otherwise he'd be out there. He's their best defensive player. He ripped up his knee in the Alamo Bowl last year and then was bothered by an ankle sprain earlier in the season. He's finally close to 100% though, or so we thought. Yeah,
he's a 4-year starter making his 48th start. The only time he's on the sideline is when their offense is on the field.
Great player as Todd looks downfield, airing it out. Got a man there. It's caught. Touchdown, Quindarius Carr.
There, watch the push off. Carr's going to, right there, his left hand is extended. They get a little push off on Smith. Single coverage. Good throw by Todd. Just put it up and give your guy a chance to make a play.
That's the game plan. You short, run. Check him deep. Beat Brendan Smith, who allowed himself to get pushed off by Carr.
Point after is good. 46-yard touchdown. Chris Todd, a school record 22nd touchdown after just 5 touchdowns a year ago. If only Auburn could learn how to celebrate. That deserves a penalty. They got one earlier.
You got it right the second time.
A year ago at this time, Auburn quarterback Chris Todd was having shoulder surgery. He missed spring practice. The new coaching staff, led by Gene Chizik, had no idea that he would even have a chance to be the guy in the fall, but he ends up winning the job, and he sets a school record. Now 22 touchdown passes on the year.
They had 5 starts last year and really was taking a little bit of heat from the fans, the Auburn fan base, which there's a lot of pressure with that position at Auburn.
Simmons awaiting the kickoff at the 3-yard line. Simmons with a burst past the 30-yard line, got the kicker to beat, and what a tackle by Byram at the 40-yard line. And this will be Chris Todd's final game. The starter next year could very well be Cameron Newton, who yesterday signed a national letter of intent to attend Auburn after leading Blinn College to a junior college national title. He played as a true freshman behind Tim Tebow as the backup quarterback of Florida in 07.
In the difference Gus Malzahn will have in his offense, as you see 16 rushing touchdowns, Cam Newton will bring his legs to this offense, which will make it more dangerous.
That's a big signing, too, and it's got a lot to do with that man right there, Gus Malzahn, being the offensive guru that he is.
You think Dan Mullen was Newton's offensive coordinator, and he turned down Mullen at Mississippi State to play for Malzahn at Auburn, as Kafka's pass is incomplete, intended for Simmons. Let's check in with Rob for more.
Hey guys, during our conference call a couple days back with Coach Gene Chizik, he was talking about how important it is to find a quarterback for next year, and he was saying, yeah, you know, right, maybe it's somebody we have here, maybe it's somebody we're going to get. He was kind of hinting that they had their eye on somebody. I talked to Coach pregame on the field. I mumbled, you know, Cameron Newton. Oh boy, did his eyes light up, mouth kind of dropped. He said, let me tell you, that is a signing. That is a big boy, and he was borderline drooling, guys, at the prospects of having him in January and schooling him under Malzahn.
Kafka's pass off the mark. It'll bring up 3rd down. Well, Gene Chizik told us in our conversation with him this week, when you guys talked at the start of the telecast about this being a downhill run team out of the spread, but he says one of the elements we haven't had this year, although he saw it on that last drive, has been the long pass.
Well, and that's going to come, and you keep developing. Remember, this is the first year within the offense. They've picked it up quickly, but they're only going to improve on it and build on it next year.
Morrow certainly has Cameron Newton rather certainly has the arm strength, as Kafka gets out of one tackle and then finally brought down well short of the 1st down by Derek Likes.
It's the job of Likes on the 2nd effort. Missed him the 1st time, but when you have the luxury of running different defensive line in and out of there, they're fresh. Didn't stay down on the ground, did a nice little seat roll to finish the tackle on Kafka.
And Quindarius Carr just got his 1st ever touchdown, only his 2nd career catch. Now back to return the Demos punt. And those are always dangerous, as that one almost hit an Auburn player. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Auburn football. Well, we talked about Auburn quarterbacks. They've had some pretty good running backs over the years. 1985 Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson used to light up Chris when they'd play in the NFL. Rudy Johnson, Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, Kenny Irons. How about James Brooks and Joe Cribbs and Stephen Davis, Tony Richardson?
Yeah.
Even Brandon Jacobs had a cup of coffee at Auburn. William Andrews.
I think James Brooks is one of the most underrated NFL backs to ever play the game with the Chargers and the Bengals. He was an outstanding football player.
How about Ben Tate, number 5 on that career rushing list? Here's Fannin, and they wrestled him out of play around the 25-yard line.
Cadillac Williams plays right here on this field with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Tampa Bay plays here Sunday against Atlanta. They're 3-12. Maybe saving Raheem Morris this season after beating New Orleans.
I don't know. Bo Jackson never ran me over, though. He ran away from me, just to make that clear.
He had to get that in, didn't he? That was like 3 or 4 minutes ago we said that.
They fake the reverse. Tate looking for a running lane. And he's close to the first down. Then with the second, third, and fourth effort, the guy still doesn't go down. Eat your heart out, Bo Jackson.
Look at Coach Chizik. I mean, as a head coach, one thing you want to see is effort. And that fires up everybody. It fires up the coaches. It fires up the bench. And it fires up the big fellas up front. And here you're going to see just maximum effort all the time and right back to it.
Tate again. Busts a couple of tackles. And out near the 43.
Watch the effort. 2 guys, 3 guys. 4 guys have a shot at him, still going, runs out of the grasp. Expect this offense to get quicker and quicker in between plays as they go down the field.
Tate, second team All-SEC. Here's his backup, McCaleb. And he gets the first down, stood up by Maben. McCaleb, a freshman who missed a couple of games with injury. Auburn every year has an excellent running back, and Tate ends up 4th this year in the SEC in rushing. Meanwhile, their right guard, Baron Isom, shaken up.
Their offensive line has played together. This is their, I believe, their 122nd combined start for this offensive line. When you have that, you have teamwork.
But Isom being tended to by the Auburn trainers. 21-7 Tigers. Right guard Baron Isom being helped off the field. Auburn leading Northwestern 21-7 here in Tampa at the Outback Bowl with Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman. I'm Dave Pasch. Rob Stone down on the field. Isom faced a suspension earlier in the year for a violation of team rules, missed a couple of games. Otherwise, this offensive line has been together. And Bart Edens, who is really the backup center guard and tackle, will come into the game at right guard. Cody Burns in at the quarterback position. And Burns finds a hole and crosses midfield, gets about 5 to the 48-yard line. Quentin Davey on the tackle. Auburn started the year 5-0, guys. At one point was ranked 17th in the BCS standings. And the schedule got tougher. Now,
yeah.
Granted, they did beat West Virginia early in the year.
They lost 5 of their last 7 to end up the season 7-5.
Played well, though, against Alabama. Led that game 14-0. Yep. As Tate gets to the outside and gets slowed up, but is able to get the first down, and then a flag flies in the middle of the field. Only 13 seniors on this Auburn team.
Personal foul, tripping on the offense, number 53. 15-yard penalty, second down.
That's on Bart Evans. He comes in, and the first play he's out there, gets a tripping penalty.
Got to get warmed up a little bit. See 53 pulling around right there. Big Bart. Keep your eye on him. That's a nice, you couldn't see it at the end there, but that's an old trick that those dirty old big hog offensive linemen do called the leg whip. Where they whack you, they miss you, they fall down on the ground, and they swing their legs around to try to get you.
Just a defensive linebacker talking about offensive linemen.
Yeah, they all cheated.
Big dirty old guys.
They all cheated.
Was tripping part of your warm-up routine?
Not like that.
Here's a reverse to Fannin. And Fannin caught it back and gets back to midfield. Nate Williams there for Northwestern.
Just interesting to see that Auburn now has had a chance to run their offense at a high pace. If it's starting to wear on the Northwestern defense, they try to get substitutes in and out of the game, but I see hands on hips in between plays. That's not a good sign.
3rd and 7. Northwestern in dire need of a stop, and a timeout called here by Auburn.
Timeout, Auburn. They're first of the half.
So a couple timeouts remaining here for the Tigers at the 5-minute mark, leading Northwestern 21-7. We mentioned at 4:30 today on ABC. It's the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Then on January 7th, on ABC. It's the City BCS National Championship game. As I'm sure you guys have been breaking this down now for weeks. Who do you like, Texas or Alabama?
Well, I like Alabama. I think Alabama plays defense. They play great run defense. Texas has a hard time running the football. It's going to be tough to beat a one-dimensional offense like Texas when you're playing Alabama that is very good at stopping the run. It's going to be tough win for Texas to get.
Alabama was great in beating Auburn, and you got to give them their due. But I just like Colt McCoy. I think somehow, some way, if he needs to run, he's going to run and get it done passing. It's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Can Texas take anything from what Auburn did defensively in shutting down Mark Ingram, holding him to 30 yards?
Yeah, see ball, get ball. That's what your game plan is. Go tackling.
Thanks.
Mark Ingram gets a lot of bounces after contact yards.
Here's Todd on 3rd and long. Wooten back out there and forced Todd out of the pocket. Todd trying to get to the marker. Instead gets whacked along the sideline by Mabin. He'll come up short of the 1st down. We'll see what Auburn does here on 4th down.
Although Todd has some mobility and he showed it right there, he is not nearly the runner that Mike Kafka on the other side for Northwestern is.
The big stop just to get their defensive breather for the Wildcats.
Brewer gonna let it bounce at the 15. It takes an Auburn hop inside the 5-yard line down at the 4 as we go to the studio and say hello to Ryan Burr.
Happy New Year to you as well, Dave. Coming up on the H&R Block halftime report, we indeed will follow all the college football today. Mike Leach speaks out against Texas Tech. You don't want to miss that. We'll have a Rose Bowl preview. Can Ohio State break the string of Big Ten teams losing at the Rose Bowl? And Bobby Bowden, his farewell game at Florida State, all coming up on the H&R Block halftime report. We'll see you then, Dave.
All right, Ryan, Happy New Year to you as well. Closing in on 4 minutes to play. Concannon here at the end of the 1st half gets about a yard. Northwestern has gone 3 and out the last 2 times it's had the ball. Tackle made there by Jake Ricks.
And what Auburn is doing against Northwestern and against that spread and that short passing game, they're going belly up and they're playing tight man-to-man coverage on those wide receivers that are spread from left to right, and it's harder for them to get open.
Starting to rain again. We'll see how that impacts the passing game. As Kafka has a man and he's off target, but good catch by Brewer. Northwestern has not won a bowl game since the 1949 Rose Bowl against Cal. 61 years ago today. Bob Voigt was the coach of the team. Like Pat Fitzgerald, he was a former player, former All-American in Northwestern, was only 31 when he was named head coach.
This is what Pat was talking about this team getting over the mountain. That mountain is a bowl game victory that he's referring to.
Pat just turned 35 years of age in early December as Markshausen picks up a much-needed Northwestern 1st down. Nico Thorpe brings him to the ground at the 16-yard line.
Those are the man beaters. And Bob was talking about how Auburn's getting up in the face of Northwestern and challenge them. How you beat them is you run little crossing routes underneath to pick defenders off to give receivers room to work. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more bunch formations to set the picks on the same side of the field.
Kafka going to keep. And Ricks there again for Auburn along with Michael Goggins.
Let me follow that up with what Chris just said. And we know we try offensively, we try bunches, we try crossing routes. What other things gave you as a linebacker and defense in general problems in coverage?
Well, if you're talking about man coverage, it's the fact that you have to run the football, which Northwestern cannot do. Then all of a sudden, because when you're a man, you're automatically thinking pass first as one of the back 7.
Right.
If you can't run the football, that allows you to purely focus on pass. But if you're playing man and they're running football, that puts a burden on you.
Ooh, late handoff by Simmons. Coleman drags him down. And not much again on the ground. Going to bring up 3rd and long.
And I guess a quarterback like Kafka going a step further, who spreads that receivers 3 on the right, 2 on the left. You got to spread out your defense, and you're the quarterback, but that quarterback can run. That's an extra problem for you.
That's right, and that's why you got to have a defensive lineman power rushing up the middle.
Guys, Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN2 and ESPN2 tomorrow at noon Eastern. It's South Florida and Northern Illinois in the International Bowl. ESPN2 noon Eastern, and then it's UConn and South Carolina in the PapaJohns.com Bowl at 2 Eastern time at ESPN. South Florida playing in its 5th straight bowl game. Meanwhile, South Carolina in search of its 8th win. Kind of been an up and down year for them.
It's kind of been the MO of that program since Coach Spurrier has taken over. They just haven't been able to take that next step. Very competitive, tough, play well. It's just getting to that next level, which everybody knows is difficult to do in the SEC because of the week-in, week-out competition.
They were blown out here by Iowa last year in the Outback Bowl. South Carolina was.
Yeah, I did that game. They looked like they weren't interested in being here. At least that's how they play.
And sometimes that's the case in bowl games with certain teams.
So when you shut it down and then you try to get it started again, sometimes it always doesn't work.
3rd and 8. Kafka going downfield, overthrew Brewer. There were 3 Auburn players in the vicinity as well. 4th down.
That's one I think you do throw away, because if I'm seeing 3-on-1 and I trust my guy Brewer, he's the next quarterback. We used to sit in meetings together, but I don't trust him that much. Let me go ahead and throw that to the hash mark as he's running to the middle of the field.
Crossed them up there. They didn't go man-to-man as they've been doing. They went zone.
Demos to punt from inside his 5-yard line. And a high snap. And that went off the side of his foot. How do you know where that thing crossed the sideline? The official is spotting it at the 24-yard line. That's a 6-yard punt, if that is indeed where it ends up being spotted. Let's see. Now another official, the field judge, is coming over and he's saying the 36-yard line. So it's an 18-yard punt. Walter McFadden has been the difference maker for Auburn with 2 interceptions. This one off a tip pass. It set up Auburn's first touchdown, and then this one, he took the distance. Happy New Year, Auburn fans. 100 yards on the INT for a score. Shaken up, though, on the last Auburn defensive series. They're taking him to the locker room.
And that's the case where you hope it's just cramps.
Todd throwing it to Burns, and he's going to throw it. Yep, and he's looking for Fannin, and it's intercepted. Great pick by Sheriff McManus. Big play for the Wildcats.
What do you think of the call, Grease?
I love it. I do. I love it. You get a turnover in positive field position. Gamble with something. Try something. This is just great discipline by this defense. It goes back to Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, teaching his guys to play their areas, which you talk about all the time.
Walter McFadden sees that he's got to come back out there. He says, you know, I'm not going to the locker room. I'm going to tough it out and play my final game at Auburn.
Right.
Kafka, quarterback draw. Across the 10-yard line, out near the 15. Nico Thorpe on the stop.
Why is he going to the locker room then in the first place? Oh, okay.
Apparently just walking it off then, Chris.
Well, you know what? If I see him out there and I see him limping, I got some eyes in the sky. Let me see what you have.
Yep.
There you go.
I go right at him.
The coaches in the press box, you know, they know that.
He's in the slot there on Ebert. Kafka instead goes the other way. He's got Stewart, and the pass is pulled in. Ruled a catch.
I'm just watching McFadden there. You see him on your screen. That's cramping up. And you see Stewart right here doing a good job of field awareness. In the air, one in, one out.
Yep. Good catch, good throw by Kafka.
And he didn't go out of bounds before the ball got there, because you can't make a play on the ball. I think they're going to take a look at this one.
Yep.
Previous play is under further review.
Guys, I want to go back, though, to your comment, Bob, about what Auburn ran. Now, why not when you've run for 100 yards already and you got a minute 40 left, you can take the clock down, just continue to pound Northwestern and get into the red zone.
Let's take a look at this. See if he gets his feet in. He doesn't go out of bounds before the ball gets there. And he seems to have possession and a foot in bounds.
Unless the back of the foot was out of bounds, the left foot. But again, hard to tell. It's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. I think it's going to stand.
Okay, what's your question now?
Just going back to why not continue to run the ball? I mean, they're running it successfully.
Okay, you're questioning Gus Malzahn. He's been studying for a month to get ready for this. You know, when you get a turnover in positive area, inside the 40 or inside the 30, go
After
for it.
further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch, first down.
What do you think about it, Chris?
I don't mind going to try to drive the stake. You're up 2 touchdowns. I don't know if I'd go trick play.
No,
I might try to throw something that I know and trust that I've already hit on them that's been successful down the field. But I don't question the call. I think it's a good call.
It's a good call. I mean, now is a perfect time to try. You're up 21-7.
Kafka with time has Ebert in the middle of the field, and McFadden made the tackle, but he was nowhere near Ebert in the pattern.
That's because he cannot break on the football. He's having a hard time planning off of his back pedal to break on the football. Keep attacking him.
Here he is right here.
Kafka to Stewart, and DeAntoine Hood right there to make the tackle. Northwestern still has 2 timeouts remaining, and they're going to use one here.
You know, I wonder if they see that he's in the slot. They love to play man, and I wonder if you might have to take a shot at him. That's what I'm asking myself. Now, I know they have coaches that are in a near vicinity to us. If you see him limp it, boy, you go right after him. Now, that might alter what Gene Chiswick does and Ted Ruff do on defense, because you got to say, look, I got a wounded warrior out there. I need to make sure my safety is over there to help him to start leaning to his side.
And he's the nickel guy when Northwestern goes 3 or 4 wide, so he moves inside. That seems to be where Northwestern is attacking.
Just put your fastest guy in the slot and say run a takeoff.
That's the problem. Northwestern doesn't have many fast guys, and they don't have many guys that are big play guys that are really burners that can get down the field. If anybody is in that category, it's Brewer, and they've already tried that.
Well, I mean,
you try it again.
You got to be, I know they're not overly fast, but you got a guy that's cramping and limping around, and he can't break. Climbing.
Now
right here.
They do put Brewer over on that side of the field, and as you said, Bobby, he had a 39-yard touchdown catch in the first quarter. And Kafka throwing to Ebert, who's being covered by McFadden, and he's got the first down to the 32. So they went at him there.
I think you keep going at him and see if he will stay patient, because he's got to be a smart football player and protect himself.
Kafka 4-4 on this drive. Going to Ebert again on McFadden. He makes the catch inside the 5.
There it is, guys. Beautiful. I think they were just wearing him out. Right here, he's got pretty decent coverage, but he does not have his burst. And the ball's thrown low and away, and a great throw away from the defender, Grease. Nice and low for his guy can only get it.
Yeah.
McFadden just took off to the Auburn sideline, limping, and Auburn called timeout. They only had 10 guys out there.
Timeout, Auburn.
Well, you know,
they're third and final.
You admire guys being tough and want to stay out there. But if you're hurting your team, you know, take yourself out and get somebody else in there that can play.
Well, here's the code, at least that I thought was the code. Anything upper body, you take a tough pill, suck it up, and play. Anything lower body, you can't run, you can't play, especially in the secondary. And what I think happened was that Northwestern attack, because you still have to work to play. And you see McFadden, he's high in his back pedal, so he's laid out of his break. And the ball's thrown away, and he lets the receiver get behind him.
Great catch by Ebert going down.
But I think Northwestern's attack him, and start using him, and
I think he feels like, hey, I'm having a great game. I've already got his name filled out on my player of the game sheet. You know, he's had 2 interceptions and returned 1 for over 100 yards for a touchdown. And he's having a great game.
Well, now the officials are reviewing. Well, every play is reviewed, but further review here. But they did charge Auburn for a timeout there. The ruling on the field was complete. Again, based on the video we have, it looked like it was complete.
You know,
officials are talking to Pat Fitzgerald about it, though.
Now, I don't know if Auburn ask for the review?
Well, it's being called an official review. Otherwise, it would be a challenge.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. If I'm Northwestern, and I see Pat down there talking to the officials right now. He's on the 20-yard line, walking out with the officials by his team. And I would ask, If you're replaying, dude, you're killing my momentum here. What are you doing?
Or charge Auburn with a challenge
Yeah,
rather than an
don't take my
official
big
review.
maul away from me.
Well, the referee went over to talk to Gene Chizik to let him know what's going on.
I think they're going to give Auburn the timeout back because it was an official review.
But did you guys get my point about the reviews?
No, I do.
Review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch. Auburn will not be charged a timeout. It has one remaining.
But there's got to be a point in time, don't you, where these guys in the booth up here trust what those guys down there see without stopping the game.
Meanwhile, 47 seconds remaining.
Exactly.
Northwestern has one timeout. They go empty. Kafka rolls left, throws, end zone, broken off. Great play on a pass intended for Schmidt. It was freshman Darren Bates, true Frosh safety, who's been a starter this year because of injury in the secondary.
You know, not a bad time for a little quarterback draw, a little quarterback trap right here with a pulling guard to lead him up inside with the empty backfield set. Certainly you have to be aware of it.
McFadden on the sideline. Kafka to throw again. Flushed out. Kafka being chased. Gets rid of it. Ebert is there. Instead, it is picked off. Initially it was ruled incomplete. Now they say interception. That's the second Auburn interception in the end zone.
Cardinal rule mistake, Reese. What is it by the quarterback?
Late over the middle.
Kills you. Kills you. Kills you.
That was Bell with his second interception. He's a freshman also.
You can't throw across your body late over the middle.
He's trying to make a play, and it's just not there. Throw it away and live to play another down.
Yeah, it looks like he caught it too.
2 picks in the end zone. He had Stewart open in the back corner. The cornerback for Auburn took his eyes off of Stewart. Stewart was then able to get some distance. Just throw it to that back pylon. Don't try to make the miraculous throw. Guess what? It's a reason why it's a miraculous throw. Doesn't happen very often, Dave.
2 in the end zone, 1 return for a touchdown. So it's not as if Auburn has completely outplayed Northwestern, but because of the takeaways, they have a 2-touchdown lead.
In the end zones.
We said early on that Kafka would have to play well and have a good game for Northwestern to have a chance, because he is their offense. A couple of bad decisions, interceptions in the end zone.
We'll see if McFadden can go in the second half. Had 2 interceptions in the first half and valiantly trying to play through that leg injury in the final stages of the second quarter. Let's check in with Rob Stone.
Well, Coach, what is it with your secondary in the end zone today?
Hey, what, we're bending a little bit in there, but this is a very good football team. But somehow or another, when we get back down to the red zone, we're making plays right now. We're coming up with plays at the right time.
Going back to your last offensive drive when you threw the interception, what was the offensive mindset on that drive?
Well, we were in a position to strike quick. So, a lot of times when you get in that field position, we're going to throw a reverse pass. Hey, it was a great play by their safety. I think the ball was there. They made a great play on it.
Coach, we appreciate your time live. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Rob, get a hairdryer and a brush. Chris, get another bloomin' onion. Bob and I will continue to argue about that play that Auburn ran earlier in the quarter. 21-7 Tigers as we join Ryan Burr for the H&R Block halftime report.
This is ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back to the Outback Bowl. Happy New Year from Tampa, Florida, where Auburn leads Northwestern 21-7. Let's enjoy some of the halftime festivities here at the Outback Bowl.
making noise with the Southern boys.
Welcome back to the Outback Bowl. Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, where Auburn leads Northwestern 21-7. Happy New Year. Dave Pasch alongside, as Tim McGraw calls you, Mr. Greasy, Mr. Spielman. Tim said I had to call you that. How about Mr. Kafka, guys? Mike Kafka, 35 pass attempts in that first half, 3 interceptions, 2 in the end zone.
That's the difference in the ball game. The 3 picks by Kafka, 2 in the end zone. If they hadn't had those, they would be tied up 14-14 as it is. It's 21-7.
Well, and you're taking points off the board, obviously. Now, if I'm Pat Fitzgerald, what do I tell my guys? Look, we're battling a mountain that we've been climbing for 60-some years. We still have a chance to get over that mountain, which is a bowl game victory. But you have to execute, not turn the ball over, and play a little bit better defense. So Auburn has done a great job of executing on the offensive side of the ball, running their plan, doing what they do. And Ben Tate has over 70 yards rushing in the first half.
Northwestern is definitely the Rodney Dangerfield of the Big Ten. They get no respect.
1949, their only bowl win. Now let's check in with Mr. Stone.
That's right, Mr. Stone. That's what I tell my doctor. All right, talked with Coach Fitzgerald coming on out here. 3 main points. Number 1, I asked him, what'd you say to your quarterback, Kafka? And he said, flush it and move on. He got us here. He's going to continue to do it. We have all the faith in him. We need to finish. Seems obvious. 1 play at a time is the way they want to do it. But this is what I like, and Chris, you love it too. We want to tackle, right? And every coach says we want to tackle, but there's a reason he wants to tackle today because, as he said, we've been going for the ball so much, trying to strip it. Watching the video and the tape on Auburn, we thought they had some loose ball security. So we've been so preoccupied trying to strip it, we need to focus on just actually tackling.
And poor tackling by the offense, too, on that Walter McFadden 100-yard interception return for a score, though they really didn't have a chance to catch him. And you see Northwestern dominating time of possession, but again, Auburn with points on defense.
They're also dominating turnovers. That'll square everything up real quick.
Northwestern can score, and with Auburn also an offense that can get off the field quickly, there's plenty of time for Northwestern because Auburn, just as they're able to score quickly, can also get on the field and go 3 and out offensively. Demos with a second half kickoff. Damon Washington, the deep man, he's got a return for a score this year and gets out of 1 tackle. The 25 finally spilled near the 30-yard line by Jacob Schmidt. So Auburn starts the second half on offense. A touchdown pass for quarterback Chris Todd, a school record 22nd. Washington a little dinged on that kick return.
I'm anxious to see if Northwestern does do a better job tackling. We saw Ben Tate run through about 8 tackles on 1 play, and that's because guys are focusing on trying to get the ball out. Well, if it doesn't work, then go back to securing the tackle. Then the second guy in can come in for the rip and strip.
Auburn playing in its first Outback Bowl since 1996 when it got clobbered by Penn State. Similar weather, although there was a lot more rain that day. As the pass is caught by Darvin Adams. We've had rain off and on here today in a slippery field as Adams fell down. No gain on the play.
Auburn usually likes to go their up tempo after they get a first down. Then they really speed it up. Before, on the first possession, before a first down, they'll take their time and do this little mini huddle or short huddle 1 yard off the line of scrimmage.
And the reason they do that, Chris, is to give their defense a chance to rest. Now, they don't need to do that here because that second half is just starting, but normally give their defense a chance to catch their breath.
Todd fakes the end around, wide open receiver. Out near the 44-yard line is Adams for a Tigers first down.
Yeah, Brett Phillips, the safety, is coming up. He's vacating his zone because he's suckered in by the reverse. You'll see Brad Phillips will sneak up inside your pitcher up over there. He's underneath the coverage, and Brad's coming in late to the pitcher. He's got to play deep to short, not short to deep.
Here's Tate, and again slips down. There to help him down is Brendan Smith. Gus Malzahn in his first year as the offensive coordinator at Auburn.
Now, a play caller has to adjust his running plays. the side running plays aren't good because of the footing. We saw 2 slips. So maybe then you want to start running straight ahead down the hill.
Well, we asked Malzahn, because he's such a hot commodity, and whether he's had some schools calling about head coaching opportunities. He said yes, but then he said, I'm committed to Auburn. Have to imagine, though, at some point he's going to take another job as McCaleb gets whacked by Smith. There's a penalty flag down, though. Look what this guy Malzahn has done in just a short period of time. At Tulsa, led the NCAA in total offense 2 years. And he also had Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, but look what he did with those guys at Arkansas. He was a high school coach before that.
Holding, number 82 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
He was a high school coach for 12 years in Arkansas, then 4 years in college, 1 at Arkansas, 2 at Tulsa, and then this year here is Auburn. Is his first year, and he has done nothing but gangbusters with this offense here with the Tigers.
The guy who gave him his big break is ESPN's Jimmy Dykes. He was the athletic director at Shiloh Christian High School, hired Malzahn from a smaller school, and the rest, as they say, is history. And no running room for Tate, as Corey Wooten was there, wrapped him up for another loss. Let's check in with Rob for more on Gus Malzahn.
Well, I've been watching Gus and the way he coaches, and guys, more times than not, he is about 3 steps onto the field before the refs even blow the first play dead, and he's already instructing his team what the next play is, getting in the next formation. Ideally, he told us he'd like to get 70 plays in and kind of keep that 2-minute tempo going. I got a few more nuggets to add real quick after this play, Dave.
3rd and 15. See what Malzahn can come up with. Not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 15. Todd with all day to throw. Got Adams for a first down. Inside the 40 to the 37. Back to Rob.
And if you see right now, Adams, he hands the ball to the official right away. That's one of the things that Coach Malzahn has instructed his team to keep the tempo going. As soon as you're tackled, find an official, give him the ball. The other thing, he tells his receivers, that ball is overthrown or dropped, turn right around and come right back. His main vice, though, guys, the old school bazooka chewing gum. He's plowing through it on the sideline. The kind that lasts the flavor, you know, all of 38 seconds. He's been whipping it nonstop on the sideline, moving on from piece to piece.
And they're approaching a single season school record for total offense as they get a yard there on the carry by Tate.
You know, it's interesting to see where he calls the plays from. He's about 10 yards back from where the ball is, so he can try to see the defense and get the best angle possible.
Correction, they say that the knee was down and the ball was actually back behind the line of scrimmage as that pass was behind Adams, incomplete, so it's 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, Adams thought he was going to move and go. He was throwing it to the back shoulder, expecting him to come back. A little miscommunication.
You know what, and just to go back to Gus, I want to go to Gene Chizik. I mean, Gene Chizik does a great job of going out and firing and finding an impact offensive coordinator to come in, and he goes and gets Gus Malzahn. So that's a great job by Gene Chizik to go recruit the best to fit your system and what you want to do philosophically.
And a lot of controversy surrounding Gene Chizik's hire. He was only 5-19, 2 years as a head coach at Iowa State, but he's a former Auburn coordinator. As Todd throws downfield into traffic, and Adams comes up with it again at the 25-yard line.
Good call. That's the same play. The other side, square in from the right side. They ran a square in from the left side. The last first down they picked up. Going to see from the right side of your screen, it's going to be a square in about 15, 18 yards. Somebody right in his face. They did a nice job of getting rid of the ball.
Man coverage. And Adams does a good job of using that 6'3" frame like a basketball player, shielding a defender from making a play.
Here's the end around to McCaleb trying to get away from Vince Brown. He does. And then run out of play by Quentin Davey. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Today on ABC at 4:30. It's the Rose Bowl game presented by City, Ohio State, and Oregon. Then on Thursday, January 7th at 8 Eastern on ABC, Texas, Alabama for the City BCS National Championship. Both games from Pasadena. Meanwhile, Burns in the game as the Wildcat quarterback. They'll hand it off to Tate, who gets drilled at the point of attack. Big hit by Ben Johnson and Brendan Smith.
Better job of tackling, especially with Big Ben Tate, who ran through a bunch of tackles in the first half. Big Ben comes in there, does a good job of wrapping and securing the tackle first as opposed to going in for the strip.
As Mike Hink wins in his second year as the defensive coordinator at Northwestern. Auburn already converting 3rd and 16 and 3rd and 11 on this drive. They got Burns throwing the football, and what an interception! One-handed pick by Brian Peters at the 1. Don't know if Todd is shaken up. He looks to be okay. Why have Burns throw the football here?
He puts it in a good spot. That's just a great play by Peters. He is the safety that, yeah, he got both feet down, held onto the ball. Good call by the official.
There's a reason Todd's your quarterback and not Burns.
That's 2 interceptions by Burns in the game. Second interception thrown by Burns. Great pick by Brian Peters of Northwestern, but the Wildcats have to start this drive at their 1. They bring in their, quote, power back, Jacob Schmidt. He's their biggest running back at 200 pounds. He gets it out to 7. Great one-handed interception by Peters, his 3rd of the season. A little more breathing room for Kafka in the Northwestern offense. They'll give it to Schmidt again, and he splatters the pile and picks up a first down to the 13-yard line.
Boy, that's getting Pat Fitzgerald down on the sidelines after that running play. He started pumping his fist. And why? Because he loves the fact they're getting a little bit physical right now, and that's what he wants to see to get them out of that dangerous territory, backed up at the 1.
And this is really not a physical offense because they don't run the ball that well.
Again, the 35 pass attempts in the first half. That pass tipped at the line. Looked like Coleman got a hand on it. Incomplete. Coming up after us here on ESPN, college basketball featuring a pair of undefeated teams. West Virginia off to its best start since Jerry West was playing for the Mountaineers in the late 50s. And Purdue at 12-0, ranked 4th in the country. That's next on ESPN.
Off to their best start since
you were point guard.
Since I was.
I don't know how you guys are going to pull this off. How you're going to watch that, and Spielman's going to watch the Rose Bowl on ABC, which is at 4:30. Kafka's pass caught at the 19-yard line by Markshausen. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Now, Auburn defensively and Ted Roof have to pick a fine line. They're very aggressive in their man-to-man coverage, but also you have a 14-point lead, so you don't want to give up the big one, which obviously in man you're a little bit more vulnerable to do that as opposed to zone.
3rd down and 5 for Kafka and the Northwestern offense. Kafka's pass should have been intercepted and probably returned for a touchdown again. This one by Washington. Kafka lucky it's only 4th down.
You just can't throw that ball. It was, the coverage was so tight. The motion coming across, and Thorpe is there right on his back. You just can't throw that ball.
That's, Washington had a great break on the football, but as Northwestern offensively, get your man beaters going again, your bunches and your crossing formations. You guys can't run away from their guys.
Demos' punt just sticks in the mud and then takes a Northwestern hop inside the 45. Auburn football midway through the 3rd, a 2-touchdown Tiger lead.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Want to see Tim McGraw live in Australia? Last chance. Text Outback to 76060. The Lexus December to Remember sales event, now through January 4th at your Lexus dealer. And TD Ameritrade.
Well, the teams are in Tampa this week. They headed to GameWorks to test their dancing ability. And meanwhile, Auburn on the field leading Northwestern 21-7. I think Northwestern won the dance contest, but the Tigers winning where it's most important, leading by 2 touchdowns midway through the 3rd quarter. Back to the ground, and Tate, and he gets pummeled by Quentin Davey after a gain of about 2.
Well, Adam Hahn right there, defensive tackle, diving to hold the ankles and keeping Tate up, and Quentin Davey came to finish the job. I mean, Adam Hahn, that's a tough position when you're playing that defensive tackle. Give all those linebackers all that glory, but he got a little piece of that tackle to help him out.
Todd pulls it back, looking to throw downfield. He's got it complete to Adams. Boy, Adams seems to be the guy that Todd looks to when he drops back to throw first.
And nice play by Todd just to buy some time, fake. Somebody's in the pocket, so you step back. Adams is coming across the field. I love that route. Square in, crossing route. Just throw it around the linebackers. They can't catch.
Back on the ground to Tate. And he gets maybe 2. Those are fighting words, Bob. Careful.
I got more career interceptions than you do. So.
How many interceptions did you have?
I'm not sure.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
Not sure.
Because you know those linebackers. You know the quarterbacks always know what linebackers can catch and which ones have those stone hands.
I'm just glad Auburn's letting Todd throw the football this series.
Yeah, Burns, who was the ghost on that play. And Todd in trouble. Hit from behind. Down he goes. Vince Brown with his 5th sack of the season.
Well, it's a nice job of Todd holding on to the football. Vince Brown did the right thing where he's coming in with the big club. You watch Vince Brown come around the corner here, and Todd does a good job of protecting, not quitting. Watch the club come in late.
Woo. That was a one-man route. They only had Carr deep down the field, so they wanted to take a shot, and if not, should have thrown the ball away or ran it.
First sack today for Northwestern. Wildcats need something good to happen. Down 2 touchdowns as Todd goes deep for Adams. Can't come up with it. It's 4th down. Wildcats trying to end a 61-year drought. Their only bowl win, the 1949 Rose Bowl. This is their 8th bowl game ever. Pat Fitzgerald played in a couple. Played on New Year's Day. Back when he was a player in the Rose Bowl, and then the following year in the Citrus Bowl when he led Northwestern to 2 Big Ten titles. Brewer back to receive the punt. There's contact. No flag, though. Fair caught by Brewer just outside the 15-yard line. Contact with the punter Clinton Durst, but no penalty flag. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow with a pair of games. First at 5:30 Eastern, it's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Arkansas against East Carolina. Then at 9 Eastern, the Valero Alamo Bowl, Michigan State and Texas Tech, with no Mike Leach at the helm.
What was your favorite experience in your trip to the Rose Bowl?
The game. I mean, playing the game. It's just it's a special feeling, and I still remember a lot of plays from that game.
Kafka to throw on 1st and 10, and almost another pick, and then probably should have been caught by Stewart. He couldn't hang on. Incomplete. Let's see again the contact with Durst, and definitely contact by Jeremy Matthews.
That's a 5-yarder.
Yeah, but it still would have been 4th and 10. Northwestern with a 2nd and 10. Kafka on the rollout, in trouble. And he'll lose yardage. Taken down short of the 15-yard line by Gabe McKenzie.
Northwestern's receivers are just getting swallowed up by the defensive backs for Auburn. They need to get some speed in there down the field. Brewer's got the best speed, so get him down the field and take a shot at it.
Look at the starting field position. That doesn't help.
And they're trying to move the pocket for Kafka, but that's not helping either.
Average start in their last 4 drives at their 7-yard line.
So they need some man beaters, though, boys. Auburn's just getting in your face, and there's nothing they can do. There's no safety deep right now. Now he's getting out of there.
McFadden bothered by cramps back out there in the secondary for Auburn. Here's a deep throw, and it's overthrown and intercepted by Nico Thorpe, the 4th Auburn INT.
Well, they were throwing it to Brewer, but when they do that and he's covered, Brewer's got to make sure that it's not intercepted. This is what they need to do, get the defense off of their backs. You throw it deep. You just got to break it up.
I am the champion. Okay. I am the champion. Did it just get serious?
Mike Kafka threw the fewest interceptions in the Big Ten during the regular season. Just 7. Yet he's thrown 4 today, 2 in the end zone, 1 that was returned 100 yards for a touchdown. That's why Northwestern trails Auburn in the 2010 Outback Bowl. Happy New Year. Dave Pasch along with Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman, and Rob Stone. Ben Tate takes it to the 46 for about 3 yards. Marshall Thomas on the stop. Now Corey Wooten, who many think will be a high draft pick, has not been able to do much, not been able to get much pressure on the quarterback. We've seen him on the sideline a bunch today. Don't know if he's banged up, hurt his ankle during the season. and tore his knee up in the bowl game last year. Still scouts very high on him, probably the highest prospect, as the ball pops out of the hands of Trott, incomplete. Let's check with Rob Stone down on the field for more on Wooten.
Yeah, I talked to Northwestern's head trainer about Wooten. He said, no, he's fine, healthy, no problems, just coaching decisions. They have a lot of down and distance type alignments that he is not involved in all the time. So I know you guys are worried he's not out there, but it's because they don't want him out there. Some may say he should probably be out there every play because he's that good.
Well, a lot of scouts are evaluating him on his 2008 film. We'll keep a little camera on him. I'll keep the eye in the sky on him.
Under further review.
See what he has.
Incomplete pass.
Well, what happened was you had an incompletion, then an immediate recovery by Northwestern. So they're going to review to see whether it was a catch and a fumble and then an immediate recovery.
And if obviously if they rule that, the ball goes over to Northwestern,
which cannot be advanced. It's at the spot of the recovery.
Since the whistle was blown.
And that's a thing about, I mean, here's a big guy that can play defensive end, but a guy like that size, you look at his versatility as you see the replay right here.
It was recovered there by McManus, and it didn't look like Trott had it, so it should
look like
be
he had it
incomplete.
long enough.
They're quick on the trigger on their replay today. Get it right. They want to make sure they get that right. But
you guys think Trott had it here?
Well, he's in the air. Never touched the ground.
Then Nate Williams came in, poked it free.
No.
Ruling on the field is confirmed.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
I was just talking about Corey Wooten with his size, and you see the big lower body on him. He has the versatility to play inside in the NFL at the next level with some pass rush skill. Let's take a look at him and see what kind of burst and get off he has on the football. He's been relatively quiet, just throwing power rushes on guys. He's up here at the top of your screen.
Think the field has anything to do with that?
Well, he's going to play in wet fields in the NFL.
So you're saying no? Todd rolling out, and he just throws it into the ground at the feet of Adams, so it's 4th down. Wooden had a little pressure that time, and so Auburn has to punt the football. Northwestern not done yet, despite the 4 turnovers. It's only a 2-possession game with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. But can they get decent field position, number 1, and then get something down the field? Durst with a moon ball, and Auburn's got 3 players down there. Did the ball, it went into the end zone, so it'll come out 2-20 as we check in with Ryan Burke.
All right, Dave, let's get an update from the Gator Bowl. Bobby Bowden coaching in his 34th and final bowl game and firing the spear down, and a message against his former team, West Virginia. But Jared Brown and the Mountaineers, other ideas. The quarterback 32 yards to the end zone, and early on in the Gator Bowl, West Virginia on top, 7-zip. Dave?
And Ryan, wow, what a year West Virginia's had. They lost to Auburn early in the year, but Bill Stewart's done a great job there, huh?
He has.
Taking over for Rich Rodriguez. Kafka to throw, looking for Brewer, and he's out near the 25, stood up by Bynes at the 27-yard line. DeAntoine Hood on the coverage. Mike Kafka's second team All Big Ten. He was limited in games against Penn State and Iowa because of a hamstring injury. Throwing on the run there, and he's got Fields into Auburn territory. Bumped out at the 47-yard line.
Now you got to go your up tempo. Keep you moving. What that does is when they're moving the pocket and giving Kafka room to work to take some of the pressure off. And there's a little bit of a man beater right there where you run a wide receiver into 2 defensive backs, forcing the defensive back to go over the top to get to his coverage.
Look out! Coleman comes flying around the corner and smokes the quarterback, Mike Kafka.
If he's number 75, Netter, a little shake and bake, and Netter lunges. And when you lunge and get that front body, upper body leaning forward, Grease, you don't have a chance to block anybody.
And you saw that's why we've been talking about Coleman, because he can do just that to an offensive tackle.
Very close to a blow to the head there by Coleman, but looked like a clean hit on the replay. Here's Kafka on second and long, in trouble again. And almost sacked eventually. He does get sacked. Back at the 48-yard line by Antoine Carter. Well, the Auburn players saying they were held, but no flag.
The man coverage in the secondary was giving the defensive lineman time enough to get there. Kafka had nobody to go to.
Actually got positive yardage. Actually got 2 yards, so 3rd and 15. And Brian Mulrow, the right guard, shaken up, will come to the Northwestern sideline. Either that or an equipment problem. He's taking his helmet off. Have a look at that. So Keegan Grant, who had been the starter but replaced by Mulrow today, on the field at left guard for 3rd down and 15. Kafka has time, goes deep for Brewer. Underthrown, flag down, going to be interference on DeAntoine Hood.
That's the second pass, deep pass, that we've seen in the last 2 series to Brewer. He's the guy with the speed. I think that's good. Northwestern's got to stretch this. They got to make him think about deep passing.
Pass interference. Number 24 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, this is where the underthrow helps him, as Hood cannot get his head around and forced to make contact early with Brewer. The last interception, when they tried to go to Brewer deep, they were able to get their head around and DeMond Washington and make the play. This time, he couldn't get his head around, didn't see it, and was forced to run into the receiver, causing the pass interference.
Northwestern inside the Auburn 40, first time in a long time. They've had this kind of field position. Kafka pulls it down. McFadden, the corner, came flying in there, along with Michael Goggins, to make the tackle at the 35.
You got Hood and Brewer down there jawing a little bit. Brewer went down there and cut his knees on a run block. Hood didn't appreciate it. Let's see if they get a little extracurricular activity going.
They protect Kafka. He's going for Brewer, who's open. Touchdown!
Hood quit. Hood quit on the play. He slows down.
I think Brewer kind of suckered him into believing that the ball wasn't coming to him, and then there it was, a great throw.
I think his concentration was broken because the previous play, Brewer cuts him. First of all, this is the best deep ball that Kafka's thrown all day. Watch Hood. He slows down. He doesn't even know that Brewer's in the route. But I think his concentration was broken, and Brewer lulled him to sleep, like you said, Grease. Bam.
So a 39-yard touchdown catch earlier. Now a 35-yard touchdown catch. And Demos for the point after. It's a one-possession game with 2:42 to go in the 3rd.
Take a look, Pash. I mean, this was set up, I think, the previous play when he cuts Hood on the running play and gets the concentration.
So Northwestern within 7 late in the 3rd. How about this for Brewer? You talk about him being the only deep threat. 7 of his 9 touchdown catches have been 20 yards or more, including 2 30-plus yard touchdown grabs here today.
And you got to hand it to Kafka to keep in the game. Don't get down. You've had 4 interceptions. One of them was returned 100 yards for a touchdown. That can affect the quarterback, but he knows the only chance that his team has is if he can bring him back.
Let's check in with Rob Stone now, down on the field.
Well, defensive coordinator Ted Roof saw what Hood did too, and boy, he stormed right on the field, got in his face, barking at him multiple times, guys, yelling at him, "You're out, you're out." He went to go sit on the bench. He pulled him off the bench. He is out.
Ted Roof, former head coach at Duke, and then defended Northwestern while he was the defensive coordinator at Minnesota. Now in his first year in Auburn. We'll see if Hood returns. He is one of those outside receivers in situations where they have 3 and 4 corners out there. And their nickel package, short kickoff taken by Fannin out near the 30-yard line, and he took a shot as we go to Ryan Burr in the studio.
All right, Dave, just a reminder over on ABC right now, Capital One Bowl, Penn State and LSU. Now, we expected a shootout in our game. Weather conditions in Orlando not good. That game is scoreless right now. Real quagmire between Penn State and LSU. That game over on ABC. Dave?
An hour and a half from here where the weather isn't great either.
Yeah, the weather that moved through here is over there now.
Penn State was in the Capital One Bowl in 2003. Lost that game. How about Jopa? 26 bowl or 23 bowl wins. Penn State has 26 as a team. And they go with McCaleb as the Wildcat quarterback here. Burns was running that earlier. It's a gain of about 3. Todd will come back out there now.
You're talking about Joe Paterno. Joe is just great for college football. We're losing another guy today that has been great for a long time in Bobby Bowden. I think of the few years back when both of those teams, Penn State and Florida State, played in the Orange Bowl. And those two guys played together for the last time against each other. They're just great ambassadors to the game of college football.
Todd throwing, and he's got Terrell Zachary. Good tackle, short of the first down marker at the 37-yard line. So a big third down coming up.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. Bobby Bowden's an institution, but it's amazing. Just looking at the sidelines, you saw Pat Fitzgerald there jumping up and down like he's playing linebacker again. Energized the whole football team. The defense now is energized running to the football.
Todd on 3rd down and 2 with all day to throw. Everybody covered. Here comes a sack back at the 31. Nate Williams.
Coverage sack, boys. Northwestern got in their grill. They played man-to-man. They took everyone away because every single receiver for Auburn ran a stick route. That means you run to the sticks. It made it easy coverage, and Todd is stuck.
He looks to his left, then he comes back to his right, and the receiver over there is covered by McManus. In fact, he didn't get off the line of scrimmage. Nobody to throw it to.
Durst to punt. They'll set up the return. Brewer just scored the touchdown. Fair caught at the 33-yard line. Decent field position for Northwestern. From coast to coast, you can now get the latest news on the teams you care about most. The power of ESPN covering the Boston, Chicago, Dallas, and now Los Angeles sports scenes. You can log on to ESPNChicago.com to get the scoop on this game and talk about the future of Lovie Smith with the Bears, and also how things are going with the Chicago Bulls. Kind of been up and down the last couple weeks. Blew a 35-point lead in a game against Sacramento, then bounced back with a win last night on New Year's Eve. Here's Dunsmore out in the flat. Good stiff arm, and he breaks free! Dunsmore being chased by McFadden inside the 20. Drags into the 10, breaks a tackle! Northwestern within a point! Play could have gone for a yard. Instead, it goes for 66 and a touchdown. McFadden's been shaken up all day, and he could not bring down Dunsmore there inside the 20-yard line. Demos puts it through to tie the game at 21.
Just watch the effort in a bad tackling. I don't want to get you. Let me try to push you. I'll two-hand touch you. And here, I'll lay down and fall, not really wrap you up and just let you keep running through.
Dunsmore is more of a tight end than he is a wide receiver. But how about the heart of this team? No respect. Northwestern, the little engine that could, just keep trying. Down 21-7. The quarterback had thrown 4 interceptions. Now the game is tied.
The other noticeable thing, and I don't know if it's fatigue or not, but there wasn't great pursuit by the Auburn defense. That's a screen pass, boys. You got to have 10 War Eagle helmets coming to take him out, and he broke 3 tackles, and there wasn't any attempt at any type of gang tackling because there was a lack of pursuit from the backside from the Tiger defense.
And the Auburn turnovers now coming back to haunt them. The one they had in the red zone and the one they had at the end of the first half in the red zone as well.
And it did not take any time off the clock because of the hurry-up offense. There's a time for it, and I think there's a time to kind of rest a little bit.
That's also why we said Northwestern wasn't out of the game about 5 minutes ago, because Auburn can get off the field quickly in 3-and-out situations. Washington gets to the outside on the return, and look at Demos, the kickoff man.
You can go over to Auburn and show them how to do that.
The kicker tackling better than the guys who are supposed to know how to tackle.
On that, to be fair, only on that last play. But that's the epidemic that's attacking college football, and nobody seems to do anything about it.
Tackle.
Why don't you do something about it?
I'm going to have a tackling clinic in Columbus, Ohio this summer.
There you go.
We got a tie game late in the third here at the 2010 Outback Bowl. Well, Pat Fitzgerald, you talked about it, infusing enthusiasm not just into his team but into this Northwestern program and into the city of Chicago. Out on the flat to Emery Blake, and he's brought down after a gain of about 3. Good play by Brendan Smith, the first Wildcat ever to start 3 postseason games. And that is the end of the third quarter as Northwestern tries to end a 61-year drought. Their last bowl win in 1949. They're tied with Auburn going to the fourth. Happy New Year from Tampa. Fourth quarter of the Outback Bowl, the first college football game of 2010. We're tied at 21. Auburn with a 2nd and 7 from its 38. Todd to Zachary, and he fumbled the ball. It's recovered by Auburn. Jay Wisner recovered it. Pat Fitzgerald in between quarters, trying to get his sideline and the Northwestern fans fired up.
Going out to the field to meet his guys as opposed to his guys coming over there.
The Northwestern bench was jumping in that last touchdown, and in between third quarter to fourth quarter, it was exciting.
They bring Burns in the game at the quarterback position for 3rd down and short, and he gets stood up. It's going to be 4th down. Adam Hahn plugging the hole for the Wildcats. Nate Williams was there as well. Brendan Smith firing into the backfield. And right now Auburn's keeping its offense on the field for 4th down.
That's penetration right there. Anytime you get that penetration, you have Quinton coming underneath, Quinn Davis coming underneath to make the play unblocked.
They're going to punt. And guys, Zachary looked like he had the 1st down, and then he fumbled the ball.
Yes,
he did. And
I agree.
They covered it short of the 1st down marker. Now they got a punt, 4th and 1, almost got blocked. Good punt though. Brewer from his 10-yard line, and one of the gunners got him. Darvin Adams, first man downfield, takes him down. Let's check in with Rob Stone.
Well, you guys were commenting about the energy on the Northwestern sideline. On the flip side over at Auburn, the swagger is gone. Remember a couple of minutes ago I was talking about Ted Roof barking at Hood. Well, Ted Roof was downright nurturing after their last defensive stand, encouraging his players. Hey, guys, what happened? Happened. Time to move on. Hang together, stay together, take care of the ball. They're just trying to lift up the Tigers right now on the sideline. They are getting outmatched by the Wildcats.
But they do have 3 interceptions in this game, make that 4 interceptions on Kafka. We'll be looking for a takeaway here as Coleman got pressure and hit the quarterback, but Kafka got it away for a 1st down to Dunsmore, and there's a penalty flag probably for that hit by Coleman on the quarterback Kafka.
Roughing the passer, number 52 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
He went high on a sack earlier in the game, got him from behind. That one looked clean. We'll see if this one was clean or not. The ruling definitely got him late.
Oh, yeah. He is the SEC. He is 2nd in the SEC in sacks and in tackles for loss. Didn't get much of a block from the offensive lineman there, but when the quarterback gets rid of it that quickly, you got to pull up.
Kafka to the air again, going downfield. He's got Markshausen who lays out. The ball came out at the end, and it's ruled incomplete. He did not complete the catch.
Got to come down with possession and keep control. The football has it, and the ball and ground.
It's a great effort.
Jars it loose.
Good coverage. You had to put it out front like that, but it's just good coverage.
Kafka rolling out, going to get hit, got rid of it, and another interception. Bell with his second pick of the game, the 5th. Auburn interception and a late penalty flag. Bynes got pressure on Kafka and forced the high throw. Let's see what the flag is, though. It was thrown during the run back.
Good job of moving the pocket, but thrown across his body. Sometimes you got to go ahead and give it to the sidelines and let them see if a lineman can make a catch sitting on the bench.
Personal foul, number 90 of Auburn. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, not a smart play by Nick Fairley.
That's a killer, isn't it? You make a good play, you get an interception, you got to have good field position, and then you lose 15 yards.
So when we come back, it will be Auburn football at its 40-yard line. 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Mike Kafka has now thrown 5 interceptions in this game.
Fitzgerald was just telling him, hey, forget about the interceptions. You're going to win this game for us. You're not going to win it for them. You're going to win it for us. Get back there and get ready to go.
Tie game in the fourth quarter. Auburn has turned it over and punted on 4 other occasions here in their 5 second-half possessions. Northwestern just turned it over. Kafka throwing his 5th pick of the game. He threw 7 interceptions the entire regular season. Todd with a ton of time to throw for Auburn, goes short, and Adams makes the catch as he slips. Gain of about 5 at the 45-yard line.
Nice job of Darvis Adams, who was originally about 15 yards down the field, seeing his quarterback in trouble, recognizing, working his way back to be an open target for Todd to hit on the scramble.
Chris Todd has thrown the ball pretty well in this game. Here he is again on second down, another strike. Adams his favorite target, and forward progress will give Auburn a first down in Northwestern territory at the 48.
Getting back to our original opening thought, both teams use a spread, both teams no huddle. One team runs to set up the pass, the other one's pass to set up the run. Auburn wants to run first, and that allows the quarterback not have to win the ball game for you. It's not the case with Kafka.
Todd play fake. Here comes Davey. He's got Todd and sacks him. Third sack today for Northwestern.
Well, Coach Hank is drawing him up from the outside. Here comes Davey sneaking around. Ben Tate is responsible for him. Ben Tate didn't see him behind the big lineman. Ben Tate went out to the route where he should have been in pass pro on the blitzing linebacker.
Loss of 6 on the play. Auburn at 7-5. Northwestern an 8-4 record during the regular season. Todd to throw again, and a beautiful toss over the outstretched arm of Davey, the linebacker, and the 11th catch for Darvin Adams today.
This kid can throw. Chris Todd spent 2 years at Texas Tech, transferred to junior college, and then came in here to Auburn. Has played the last 2 seasons.
We asked him why he left Texas Tech. He said he just didn't fit in. Had nothing bad to say about Mike Leach or the coaching staff there. Just said it wasn't the right fit.
Right.
He originally came to Auburn because of Tony Franklin, who was at Troy, and that's where Todd was thinking of transferring to from Texas Tech.
Northwestern's defense countered with an audible off the Auburn audible.
Todd being chased by Wooten, gets rid of it across the middle, and Adams made the catch inside the 30-yard line. He's made every big play in the passing game for the Tigers today.
It's a great job of buying some time by Chris Todd. Watch him as he's going to drift to the left as the pressure. He feels the pressure, keeps his eyes downfield. That's just a super play.
And Brian Peters had to play on the ball. He's got to go around and avoid the wide receiver to get a big pull on the ball.
Inside the 30-yard line now. Todd looking deep. He's got a man. Caught inside the 10 by Cody Burns. Stacked up. They'll give him forward progress to the 5. It's 1st and goal.
The offensive line gave Todd plenty of time. Defensively, they're playing zone, so there's nobody running with these guys. Found him right open in the middle of the field.
A new school record for Auburn. Single season total yards. Here's Tate trying to get the corner. He does! Touchdown Auburn! Tigers back on top!
That's a senior Chris Todd's drive. Making a name for himself under pressure. Tie ball game. Show me something. Man, was he on time and on target for the Tigers.
Then they finish it off with the run by Tate, his 9th rushing score of the year. Extra point gives Auburn a 7-point advantage. Just over 10 minutes to go. Then Tate takes it in, and the Tigers retake the lead.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. Mazda's drive-off event, where you can sign off on the best deals and drives of the year. And Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Last night at Tampa, as part of the Outback Bowl parade, high school bands from all over the country performing, along with Northwestern and Auburn bands, and some of those high school bands performing at halftime of this game. Here at Raymond James Stadium with Bob Greasy, Chris Spielman, Rob Stone down on the field. I'm Dave Pasch. Auburn leading Northwestern 28-21. Wildcats, for the first time all year, have not led a game in the second half, at least not yet. They come back from a 21-7 deficit, now trying to come back. Down a touchdown, but plenty of time on the clock. Stephen Simmons on the return. Past the 25 and out to the 30-yard line as we check in with Ryan Burr in the studio.
All right, Dave, let's check out now West Virginia taking on Florida State. Gator Bowl action. Noel Devine. Big run for the Mountaineers. Already a 7-3 game. Devine all the way down the sidelines before he's finally brought down inside the 5. Wouldn't take long from there. It's Devine again, this time from the 1-yard line. He plunges in, and West Virginia up 14-3. Devine already 85 yards and a touchdown, Dave.
All right, Ryan here. Auburn with a 7-point lead. Kafka's thrown 5 interceptions in this game. Throws short here to R.B. Fields, and he's dumped out of bounds just short of the first down marker by Darren Bates.
5 interceptions and 3 touchdown passes for his side. So got to balance that out a little bit.
What an answer by Auburn. All the momentum was on Northwestern's side. Now let's see if Northwestern can counter.
And Kafka, smart play there, throwing it away. Let's check in with Rob Stone.
Hey, Dave, they say tragedy equals comedy. Here's Coach Fitzgerald during the last break. He's yelling at his players, yelling at Kafka. He's going, guys, we've been playing with 10 men all game. We've been playing with 10 men. Our quarterback has been playing for the other team the entire game. The good news, though, we got him for the remaining 10 minutes. We're in good shape, guys.
Good news and bad news.
Well, he's got a career high in terms of passing yards. But again, 5 interceptions. Not all those were his fault. One was tipped, the first one in particular. And one was returned 100 yards for a touchdown. That right now, I guess, is the difference in the game. As Kafka, quarterback draw, and it's going to be close. Tackled by Craig Stevens, and
I think he's going to have it.
also there.
I think he's going to have it.
All right, baby.
It is a first down for Northwestern.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
That's what they do. Kafka looking deep, and might be another pick. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Intended for Brewer. Well covered by Bell, who's already got 2 interceptions. Today at 4:30 on ABC, it's Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Big Ten has lost 6 straight BCS games. Meanwhile, the SEC has won 5 straight BCS title games. It's the Citi BCS National Championship, pitting Alabama against Texas. Kafka finds Ebert over the middle, and it appears to be another Northwestern first down into Auburn territory.
It's just interesting to watch the execution at the high tempo that both offenses are operating at. And Northwestern right now is doing a good job of pass pro, and it looks to me like there's a little bit of fatigue on the pass rushers from the Auburn side.
76th offensive play coming up for Northwestern. Kafka's thrown now 52 passes. He's got Dunsmore, who breaks with tackle and stumbles to the 42. He scored on a similar play in the third quarter, breaking tackles.
Yeah, he couldn't break that one, though.
It's Damon Washington. It's tough duty for Damon. I mean, Damon can match him for speed, but what Damon has to do when you tackle, you have to run through the tackler. You don't go to your knees. If you run through to him, you at least keep your strength with you.
Kafka throws high, intended for Demetrius Fields. He was well covered by Nico Thorpe. So 3rd down and 4. Is Northwestern in 4-down territory yet, guys?
Oh, yeah. This is too long for a field goal. With their offense, if they don't pick it up on this down, the bottom line is we have 2 downs to pick up 4 yards. And I think we can do that on one of the other downs. And their offense is good offense.
I'm not sure about that because Auburn's going to run their 2-minute offense with 8 minutes to go with a 7-point lead.
So you'd punt it if they don't pick it up here on 3rd down. Try to pin him deep. We'll see what happens on 3rd down. Kafka going for Brewer. There's contact. Brewer makes a great play, but a flag down. Flag down. We'll see who they get here. If it's Brewer or the defender.
Nico Thorpe is pointing like he was pushed.
And it looks like they're going to call it against Brewer.
Pass interference, number 12 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Pat Fitzgerald doesn't like it. What'd you guys think? Right call?
Well, I want to look at it again.
Both hand fighting right there.
Yeah, he threw him down, kind of grabbed him and threw him to get to the ball.
Watch the right hand right there, Grace.
Right, yeah. And you do that. I mean, he didn't know that he was going to grab him and throw him down. He was just hand fighting to get to the ball. If nothing else, just so he doesn't pick it off.
A good job of Thorpe using his body, looking back to the football.
Now it's 3rd and 20 if you don't get it here.
Well, you got to be careful you don't throw a pick. Here they come.
And again, deep pass, this time for Stewart, and out of bounds. So it's 4th and 20. Northwestern will have to punt. Again, Nico Thorpe with coverage. Good job by the Auburn secondary throughout the game today.
I'm going to see now, after Auburn gets the football, what type of tempo they operate. They're going to stay in their high speed, quick tempo, or they're going to slow down just a tad to run some time off that clock.
Off the side of Demos's foot again. He's had a couple of bad kicks. Maybe that's why Bob was saying they should have gone for it on 4th and 4 inside the 45, but they didn't get a chance because of an offensive penalty. And they're down 7 to Auburn midway through the 4th.
Minutes from now, guys.
Should be a great game. West Virginia coming off a narrow win over Marquette. Meanwhile, here with 8:11 to play, Auburn leading Northwestern by 7. And we'll see, in terms of tempo, what we get from the Auburn offense.
It's a strange figure right here. These Auburn guys in a huddle. They don't do that very often.
Out in the flat to Fannin. He's got blockers out there. And finally banged out a play at the 43-yard line, a couple of yards shy of a 1st down.
I think a little bit of Ben Tate time. I mean, Ben Tate's an effective runner. So far in the day, 79 yards rushing on 16 carries. Let him pound it up in there a little bit.
Tate, the number 5 all-time leading rusher at Auburn. Been some great ones here. Ronnie Brown, Carnell Williams, Joe Cribbs, James Brooks, of course, Bo Jackson. Here's a pitch. Terrell Zachary with blockers again. Zachary inside the 30-yard line, inside the 15, pushed out around the 10. Zachary had a long touchdown run against Alabama, and he almost went the distance here.
The same play that he ran against Alabama. It was a fake to the wide guy, and then he coming back the other way. This is the exact play that they ran against Alabama.
So 1st down and goal. Here's Tate. Tate to the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn. And another penalty flag for celebration.
Selfish.
Means they'll kick off from the 15. And there's plenty of time left. 7:32 to go.
Let's see if Coach Chiswick addresses it on the sidelines as Tate heads over.
Yep, he grabs him. 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd today for Tate, but he's getting an earful right now from his coach.
Pointing to the clock. What are you doing?
Pointing to the other end of the field where we got to kick off from.
Oh, Gene Chizik, a former player at Auburn, too, going mask to mask, face to face there with his player. Like the intensity and tenacity there of the head coach. The extra point good, back to a two-possession game.
That's two of them today. Either they don't get it or they don't care.
McFadden called for a celebration on an interception, return for a touchdown. The bottom line is, right now, Auburn is in command, leading 35-21. Gus Malzahn's offense click in the last couple of drives. Bo Jackson, the all-time leading rusher at Auburn, in attendance here in Tampa. The Outback Bowl, ironically, lives now in the Chicagoland area where Northwestern is located. Sorry, Chris, this brings back some painful memories seeing Bo Jackson.
Bo was in he and Barry Sanders were I played against a lot of great players, but right there, straight out, flat out, beast.
And for the second time today, Auburn faked as if they were going to run up and kick the ball. They had a successful onside kick in the first half against Alabama. I don't know if you want to try it here, though, from your own 15 after the Tate penalty. I'm sure that didn't please Bo Jackson to see a running back like Tate make that kind of a decision after a touchdown. Big return for Simmons, maybe, but he gets tripped up at the 41. Otherwise, he might have had a huge return. Meanwhile, let's check in with Ryan Burr in the studio.
All right, Dave, let's check out now Penn State and LSU Capital One Bowl. We said very soggy field, not stopping Penn State here. Darrell Clark, 37 yards to Derek Moy. It's a touchdown. Penn State on top at that point, 7-3. And that's where we stand right now with 7:19 to go. Just a reminder, up next here on ESPN, it is West Virginia against Robbie Hummel and Purdue. Two undefeateds, number 6 against number 4, and it's coming up next.
A lot of time left in this ball game, Ryan, as Markshausen makes the catch. Northwestern's already come back from 14 points down once. That was late in the third quarter. They got the ball in Auburn territory. Markshausen just one career catch as a walk-on his first 3 years. He's got 8 today and 87 on the year.
He was just a walk-on transfer. In his 5th year at Northwestern.
Kafka to the air again, over the middle again to Dunsmore. Spun down at the 41 by Walter McFadden. Well, let's take a look now at Northwestern's pace.
They've been operating at a high pace all game, and so this is nothing new for them, and have shown quick strike ability with Brewer, their #1 deep threat.
Second down and 4. Little flanker screen. Stewart gets hit hard by Bynes and finished off by Goggins. It'll bring up third down.
Bynes, the middle linebacker, when he saw that ball go out to the wide receiver, ran from his middle linebacker spot all the way out there and picked up the tackle.
Ted Rufus, as intense as they come as a defensive coordinator. They run the ball here on 3rd down and 4, and Fields going to come up close, so you'd imagine they're going for it on 4th down because they ran that play, right?
Here comes number 39, Jacob Schmidt, their tough inside runner. He's a hockey player in high school.
Again, we kind of called him the big back, and he's the heaviest, but he's at 200 pounds for Northwestern. And 4th in the Big Ten and 4th down tries, and 1 of 1 today. It's a game right here. Potentially 4th and 2, 5.5 minutes to go. It'll be Schmidt, and he's got the first down. Good blocking on that left side by Mulrow, the left guard.
Burkett, the center, Netter on the left side, the left tackle. They picked up a couple of big 4th downs.
They got their motto, Hog Pride. Hog Pride one right there.
Kafka with a fresh set of downs in trouble, gets bumped by Coleman, keeps his balance, and throws it away. And he got hit by Fairley, too, after he released the pass.
Good job by Fairley of finishing the play, recognizing that he had time to get a clean legal hit on a quarterback, which is a rare occasion in some people's eyes.
Kafka gets hit again. That pass got away from him. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Coleman got pressure that time.
Auburn has some depth. They don't have a lot of depth in the back 7, but in their front 4, they run about 7 to 8 guys in there, which allows them to get fresh bodies. And you got a guy like Coleman able to turn that corner. Such a plus.
3rd down and 10. Northwestern again in 4-down territory.
They've been successful in the middle of the field, boys.
Here comes Coleman, and Kafka got out of there being chased by Fairley, and Kafka shakes one tackle and then stepped out of bounds at the 31. So we got 4. It'll bring up 4th down and about 6. Northwestern will go for it.
That big fella Fairley did a nice job of chasing him down the field. And when you see that mouth guard ready to pop out of there, you're tired. In fact, just disregard, throw it out, Fairley. That's what I did. Throw that mouth guard out. You don't need that. It's only your choppers.
Timeout called by Northwestern. The Wildcats will have 2 remaining, down 14. Under 5 minutes to go. 4th and 6 coming up. Mike Kafka had 3 touchdowns, but 5 interceptions. That one there not his fault. Great pick off the hands of his Concannon, and then McFadden here takes this one all the way back for a touchdown. We're late over the middle there, picked by Bell, and an underthrown deep pass. Thorpe with the interception, and then Bell with his second INT and the 5th thrown by Kafka.
You know, and the thing about this is he threw 5 interceptions today, and he only threw 7 interceptions in the 12 games previous to this year. So he's not a guy that puts it up.
Kind of like Keenum for Houston, threw 6 picks yesterday in Houston's bowl game and during the regular season. Only threw 6. Struggled in the championship game, conference, and again yesterday.
Well, Dunsmore's been big on these type of down and distance, running across the middle. He's right up here in the slot area as your number 2 receiver. And of course, you got Markshausen right there, who's the leading receiver on the year. With 8 catches today.
And you have nobody deep in the middle of the field, so they've got everybody up, either rushing the passer or playing tight man-to-man.
Here comes the blitz.
Bynes coming up the middle. He's picked up. Kafka's pass is caught by Stewart for a 1st down. They shifted Schmidt into the backfield, and he picked up Josh Bynes so that his quarterback could make a play.
Well, just like Chris and I were talking about, they played man-to-man, no help, slant route, picked up the 1st down.
Fresh set of downs for Kafka, and there was contact between Dunsmore and McFadden. Kafka wanted a flag, and McFadden wanted his 3rd interception.
It was just all timing right there. Dunsmore did not get around, and McFadden read his mail, meaning beating him to the route. Good job of chucking hands inside by McFadden. Eyes on quarterback.
Kafka going to the end zone, and it's broken up, incomplete. Bell on the coverage. Brewer, the intended receiver. It's 3rd and 10.
Bell had big eyes. He was going for his 3rd interception. And that's what the receiver should do. If the receiver doesn't catch it, make sure the defender doesn't.
I'm going to maintain at the middle of the field, they've had some room in the middle of the field on crossing routes and digs. It looks like a little bit of a 2-deep zone look.
Yes, yeah, zone look here.
Kafka on 3rd and 10 has Ebert, and gets hammered at the 20-yard line by McFadden. He'll come up about 4 or 5 yards shy of a 1st down. Northwestern will go again on 4th down.
Let's see, it'll be interesting with Ted Roof. If he comes back with the blitz, they've been able to stick with him man-to-man most of the day. Let's see if they come back with the blitz.
4 fresh defensive linemen in the ball game for Auburn.
And a timeout called. Auburn has 2 remaining. Gene Chizik wants to talk things over. We'll check in now with Ryan Bird.
All right, Dave, let's check in on the Capital One Bowl. Last we saw West Virginia on top 14-3. The Seminoles have answered now. Jermaine Thomas gets the outside, gets the end zone. 14-10 now, 8 minutes here. Second quarter, that game over on ABC. Just a reminder, coming up next, it is Devin Ebanks and the undefeated West Virginia Mountaineers after the best start since 1957, taking on unbeaten Purdue. A couple of unbeatens coming up 12 minutes from now. Dave?
Two excellent basketball teams. Should be a good one on ESPN and over on ABC. As you mentioned, the Capital One Bowl, Penn State LSU, and Rose Bowl game presented by Citi at 4:30 Eastern, Ohio State and Oregon. 4th down and 5 for Northwestern. Guys, what are you expecting to see from Kafka here?
Well, I think you got to go and see what type of defense they're in and get a pre-snap look. And Auburn, to me, looks like they're getting up there and they're challenging. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they blitz off their man look or they'll provide inside help from the linebackers on the inside routes. They're showing blitz, getting out of it.
They'll rush 4. Here's Kafka over the middle. Markshausen caught it inside the 10. 1st down and goal, Northwestern. That's their 3rd 4th down conversion on this drive.
I like the call. It's a slant route, the same thing they converted the last time.
Well, McFadden had help from Bynes, but Bynes was late coming over to Markshausen on the slant in the middle of the field.
Kafka quickly to Markshausen, gets a block, and then ripped out of bounds inside the 3 by Darren Bates. It's 2nd and goal.
That's a nice play by Bates, and I'll tell you, Brewer did a good job of trying to spring him loose with the cut block down the field. Watch Brewer come in with the cut block right there, and Bell and Bates coming, hustling, never quitting, making Northwestern use time on the clock, being down 2 scores. Valuable seconds. About time for that quarterback draw, Breeze.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it in a while. They go empty again. Now they shift Schmidt into the backfield, expecting an Auburn blitz. Kafka on the keeper, plowing his way to the goal line. No signal yet. Touchdown! Late signal. Northwestern's got it down to 1 possession. It's been 61 years since Northwestern won a bowl game. The 1949 Rose Bowl. Auburn's used to playing in bowl games. Wildcats are not done yet here.
Just good effort. And remember, this drive was set up because of Ben Tate imitating a basketball player, saying 1, 2 through me.
Ruling on the field is touchdown.
And they were able to get the kickoff back to the 41-yard line for great field position.
Yep.
And that's why Gene Chizik should be upset. And that's twice that happened in this game.
And he certainly was. He stopped Tate over on the far sideline as they were reviewing this play on the Tate touchdown to give him an earful about that celebration. Let's see where the ball is when the knee went down. It's very hard to tell. There's no way you can tell, so it's going to stand.
The guys that make the calls on these, whether it's a touchdown or not, are the linesmen, the one that's looking straight down this line.
Again, how can you tell where the ball is?
Now, that's why it delayed him. This one may from behind.
Scrum. That's rugby scrum.
Yeah.
I was checking that out on ESPNU. The rugby scrums, rugby games.
You like that game?
I loved it, man. And this looks like the scrum. You see the big offensive lineman. Bartell's coming in there and pushing his guy in there, scrum-like. Whatever that means.
I got to bed early last night.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Yeah, there's no way they can overturn that. You can't see the ball, and you can't see really the knee of Kafka.
I got to bed early last night, New Year's Eve, but I hear you guys were out partying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Huh? Especially Spiels. He's kind of a wild guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris was staying up watching Gladiator films all night. Demos for the point after. And it's blocked! What a huge play by the Tigers, blocking the extra point.
Let's see who gets it. Rarely, it should never be blocked from the outside. If it's blocked from the outside, then the snap is slow, and the exchange is slow. Up the middle.
Looked like Coleman got it with his right arm.
I tell you, Demos has had a tough day. His punts have not been very good, and then getting an extra point blocked.
Well, and there was no penetration by Coleman. Coleman does a good job of getting in there, but he's not even elevating off the ground, so that ball was a line drive. Now, an extra point, you got to be good enough to put a little loft on it.
Exactly.
Still a one-possession game, but now Northwestern.
Still go for 2 points.
Yep, they've got to get the ball back, either on an onside kick, or they do have 2 timeouts. They could elect to kick it deep. What would you do? Would you go onside here, or do you just kick it away?
What would you do, Coach?
I kick it deep. Take my 2 timeouts.
Now, Demos has had a couple of field goals blocked this year. He's had an extra point blocked this game. He's had a couple of punts that have gone off of his foot out of bounds, short distances, and missed a 48-yarder. Here's an onside kick try, and an easy one for Burns. Went up high to get it at the 44-yard line. We'll see if Auburn keeps it on the ground here with 3:19 to go, and Northwestern with 2 timeouts remaining, or if the Tigers take some chances.
The only reason why I would kick it deep is I would try to create some type of field position. Obviously, you're going to forfeit some type of time, but if you kick it deep, you have a chance to get some type of field position created.
Yeah, but the other thinking is we haven't stopped those guys.
You can go either way, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is we haven't stopped them much. They've all this yardage. So let's try and get the ball back.
That Burns in at quarterback from the Wildcat formation.
He'll hand it off to McCaleb and finds a seam. McCaleb inside the 35 and then ran into his own man. Still got a first down.
Good job of McCaleb of not going out of bounds. Even though he ran into his own man, it looked like he had the know-it-all to go ahead and get down anyway. Good bright future for that young man at running back with his quicks. A little burst, shake and bake.
Auburn will let the clock run down.
This is about the only time they do look at the play clock and let it run down.
Still time for Northwestern, though, to get it back with a stop. But Auburn inching closer to field goal range. Here's Tate, and he lost the ball. It's on the ground at the 31. Northwestern says that they have it. They do. Wildcats got it. Sherrick McManus with the fumble recovery.
Wow.
Brad Phillips.
Yeah. Brad Phillips.
And McManus definitely in bounds. Recovers the fumble.
What is that? The 8th turnover? Five interceptions for one side and 2 interceptions and a fumble for the other.
Northwestern ball, 2:37 to go. Here's Stewart on the catch, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Tackled by Nico Thorpe, about a yard short of the first down marker.
Just Phillips hit the ball perfectly, because to me, Tate had good coverage of that football. The points were covered. It was tucked in. Just one of those deals.
Second and short, they'll run it, and Schmidt picks up the first down and more. All the way to midfield. That'll stop the clock as they reset the chains. Still plenty of time, and Northwestern's got 2 timeouts left.
They didn't expect him to run when you've thrown 40. When you've thrown 66 passes today, they don't think you're going to run in this situation.
Here's pass number 67, Kafka to Brewer, and it's another Northwestern first down to the 40.
I'd be careful with my man-to-man defense. I know people hate to hear that, but I think now you protect the end zone. That's your first and foremost priority.
That's what they're doing. They're sitting back in zones, letting them complete some of these passes.
Pass number 68, perhaps. Yep. And that pass looked like it might have been tipped at the line. By the time it reached Brewer, he could not adjust and make the catch. Second down and 10. Clock stop, 1:46 remaining. Northwestern needs a touchdown and a successful 2-point play.
This is where the Auburn defensive line, those boys got to dig deep. They're working hard. We're in that pass rush, and that's exhausting. This is where you got to find out and make a play. Dig deep. Go where the opponent's unwilling or unable to go.
Kafka slides up in the pocket, and McFadden broke up the pass intended for Ebert. McFadden already with 2 interceptions in the game, including 1 for a touchdown.
Yeah, McFadden just too quick. He beat Ebert to the ball. He saw the ball coming, and he just reacted quicker. Look at him.
Got that IV in him, not cramping up. He's got a much better break on the football.
They're going to keep Schmidt in the backfield for 3rd and 10.
Got a 2-deep look here, whether it's man or zone. Playing zone.
And Kafka has a receiver open. Stewart wrestled down at the 33, about 3 yards short of a first down.
Another 4th down.
Northwestern will call timeout. They had 3 4th down conversions on their last scoring drive. So we got a timeout, 1:31 to go. Let's check in now with Dave O'Brien for a preview of that great college basketball game coming up, West Virginia and Purdue. All right, Dave, looking forward to hearing your call on that game. It should be a good one coming up next. We've got a great one here. You see both teams perfect on the year. The last time West Virginia was 11-0 some 50 years ago, and Jerry West was there. Second best start ever for Purdue's men's basketball team. Here, Northwestern with a 4th and 3. What are you expecting here?
Well, the last couple of times they've been in the situation, they threw slants. Now, you might throw a fade up the field because you got tight coverage.
There's your bump. There's your man beater formation. Little bunch. Here comes the blitz.
100th play of the day. Kafka in trouble. Flag down. This is going to go against Fairley. They had Kafka sacked. All Fairley had to do was make a legal tackle.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 90 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
All he had to do was make a legal tackle, and the game's probably over.
Take a look.
Kafka, everybody was covered. Just bring him down.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, in fairness, you know, that's easier said than done because you're reaching and trying to get the guy. That's certainly
295.
Yeah. The big, tall, long-arm guy. You get all excited. You just try to get him any way you can. It certainly wasn't intentional. That was an effort penalty. It's a bad penalty, but it was an effort.
Northwestern with a minute 20 remaining. One timeout left. Kafka going end zone. Stored wide open. He hung on. Touchdown, Northwestern.
You got Patty Fitzgerald at the 12-yard line. You make sure everybody knows we're going for 2.
Well, they had the extra point blocked on their last score, so they have to go for 2 here. What's the play call, guys?
Well, they work on this. They work on these 2-point plays every week. They have 2 or 3 or 4, and they're going to run the best one they've got right here and now.
Brewer to the corner. Let him go get a jump ball.
Here's the 2-point try. The end around to Brewer. He's going to throw. He's got a man open. Tie game. Brendan Mitchell with a 2-point catch. We're even at 35. Brewer, the former quarterback, hits Brendan Mitchell, only his 5th catch of the year.
They didn't take a timeout. They flip it back to Brewer. You say he was a high school quarterback. He throws it well. They didn't take a timeout. They didn't come to the sideline. They knew they were going to run this play. This is their 2-point play, and they're going to run it. And he was wide open.
Let's go back to the touchdown pass. How about Mike Kafka bouncing back from 5 interceptions to throw his 4th touchdown pass of the day?
Well, here's the bunch coverage right there, and you had Nico Thorpe confused a little bit, taking the underneath guy. Then you had Craig Stevens, a linebacker, leaving him and the safety on an island. There was a broken down piece of that coverage because Stewart can't be that wide open down the middle of the field.
What do you think about playing too deep down inside the 15, 10-yard line?
Yeah, I do, playing off a little bit. You got to play off a little bit so you avoid that. That's why we circled the bunch route because of that, so that exact scenario doesn't happen.
So offensively, I want to occupy the guys up short, the corner, and get somebody in the deep corner of the end zone.
That's exactly what they did.
Upper right-hand corner of your screen is the score of the West Virginia-Purdue basketball game, which is now underway. Guys, there's a ton of time left for Auburn. 1:15 to go, 2 timeouts.
Oh, that's nothing for them. That's average.
Meanwhile, Kafka on his 71st pass attempt. Hits Stewart for a touchdown. Here's Devon Washington on the return, and a good one across the 35. Across the 45. And out near midfield, and he fumbled it. Loose ball at the 50-yard line. Northwestern's got it. Jordan Maben came up with the fumble recovery.
The Northwestern sideline is going crazy. The players jumping up as if they've already won the ball game. Take a look. That comes out.
Yeah. That's just extra effort. And again, Devon Washington isn't used to carrying the football.
Great strip by David Wabusi, freshman from Houston, Texas. And Maben with a recovery.
Let's see if his knee is down before the ball's out. He's fighting, doing everything he can for his team. That ball's out to me before the knee is down, or at least, in my opinion, not enough evidence to overturn it.
Now Auburn can challenge it if they want. Also, obviously, you can have a review from the booth.
That's bang bang right there, boys.
Auburn is challenging the ruling on the field.
Each team gets one challenge in college football, but you have to use a timeout there. And if you miss the challenge, you lose the timeout. So you can only stop it one more time.
You don't have to do that because it's going to be reviewed anyway. So you didn't have to challenge it.
Auburn fumbling on its last 2 plays.
Let's take a look and see if you can see if his knee is down. And you see Washington fighting for everything he can for his teammates. Wabusi, nice job of recognition.
Looks like it's out.
Stripping. Again, looking for the knees.
Yeah, it looks like it's out. Certainly.
Has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
That's bang bang.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
Yeah.
Fumble occurred before the runner was down.
And here's Northwestern twice today coming back from 14 points down, trying to win a bowl game for the first time in 61 years. The 1949 Rose Bowl, their only bowl win in school history against an Auburn team that's played now in 35 bowl games, and Northwestern has a shot to win it in regulation.
And Mike Kafka playing his last game for the Northwestern Wildcats. Markshausen's he's at last game. Brewer, his last game. And maybe their last drive right here.
One timeout left for Northwestern. Auburn loses the timeout on the failed challenge. Low snap. Kafka looking downfield, now throws short. He's got Brewer. And Brewer tackled at the 40. Keep in mind the field goal kicker Stephen Demos has missed a 48-yard field goal today and had an extra point blocked.
And he had a couple of shanks on the punts. He punts and kicks the field goals.
Here's Fields to the outside, tripped up. Good play by Thorpe at the 34-yard line. Clock stop with 39 seconds left. On the first down, they'll start the clock on the ready for play. "35 seconds and counting. Kafka to Brewer on the sideline, caught inside the 30 at the 28. Let's check in with Rob.
Guys, I talked to Demos. He said his range going this way, he felt comfortable 52 or 53 yards, so they are well within his range. And one quick nugget on that 2-point play, Bob Greasy, you said you knew what they were going to call. That play called Yankee in honor of Joe Girardi.
How about that? Here's 2nd and 4 for Kafka. It's hit by Coleman as he gets rid of the pass. Out of bounds. It's 3rd down and 4.
It's an interesting call right there. Going for it all. And I love the fact that Nico Thorpe still competing out there, playing excellent man coverage on Stewart. But I like the call from Mike McCall, the offensive coordinator of Northwestern. Why not try to go get it all?
Well, now what on 3rd down and 4? Do you try to run the football to the middle of the field, or are you going for the first down here? You get 26 seconds left.
You're going for the first down.
It would be about a 45-yard attempt.
Give to Schmidt or let Kafka on a little play that you scored a touchdown on a quarterback keep.
So you would run the ball.
Yes.
That's what they're going to do. Here's Schmidt, and he's not going to get the first down. He'll come up a couple of yards short, so it's going to be about a 43-yard field goal try. Northwestern will take the clock down. They've got one timeout remaining. So, Bob, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't. I could have. I'm a quarterback. I want to throw the ball. I want to pick up the first down and then keep the drive going. But it's fine. You know, run the play, get it in the middle of the field. If you don't make it, then you kick the field goal.
Well, if my quarterback didn't throw 5 interceptions today, then maybe I might throw it. But again, remember, I don't know how much confidence he has.
He's played much better.
Yeah.
But
he's had a couple near misses here too.
Yeah, but he's thrown a bunch of them out of bounds. He's settled down. He's all right now.
I agree.
How about 74 pass attempts by Mike Kafka as Demos gets ready to try to win the game in regulation for Northwestern. He has missed 6 field goals this year, including a 48-yard try. His long in the season is 49. And it looks like it's going to be A 43-yard field goal, depending on where they spot it. And there's a little bit of wind that he's kicking into.
Remember, the last extra point that he kicked was low.
That's got to be in his mind.
Yes, sir. And it's got to be in the Auburn defensive front mind. Tell me, he kicks him low. Make sure you get your hands up.
Demos to win it for Northwestern. Auburn going to use its final timeout, though. Make them think about it a little bit more. What a game we've had on New Year's Day to kick off the 2010 college football season. Rose Bowl game presented by Citi on ABC at 4:30. We've had 70 points scored here, 8 turnovers, over 1,000 yards, and 29 points off of turnovers.
Well, that's what if I'm Gene Chizik over there, I got to remind my guys, look, we blocked one. He'll kick it low. Grease made the great point that kickers, that's got to be in his head a little bit, the fact that he just kicked one in the rear end of his offensive line to get it blocked. Now you got to tell those guys, get that penetration, hands up, and you got a shot.
Stephen Demos, a junior from Scottsdale, Arizona, trying to win the game for Northwestern from 44 yards away. And he missed it wide to the right. We are going to overtime.
Still climbing that mountain.
2 misses by Demos. You wonder if that'll impact Pat Fitzgerald's decisions in overtime. Meanwhile, an injured player down for Auburn at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, I think two guys might have knocked themselves out and ran into each other coming off the corners. Good snap, good hold. Maybe tried to overkick it a little bit, which sometimes results in the pool.
So Demos 0 for 2, misses a 48-yarder wide left and a 44-yarder wide to the right. It was Walter McFadden who was shaken up for Auburn. Meanwhile, as we get ready for overtime, let's check in with Ryan Burr in the studio.
All right, Dave, great game there. We're brewing basketball at Purdue now, undefeated.
Both teams.
Exactly.
I mean, both teams have played their hearts out. This is all about the bowl games and to see these kids play. And I want to go back, and maybe it's just me, but don't forget that the touchdown early on was set up by the good field position off the kickoff return off of a penalty that could have been avoided by Ben Tate when he tried to dunk the basketball, knowing that would result in a 15-yard penalty. Then you had the penalty by Farley that kept the drive alive. That was unintentional face mask. He's just trying to make a play for his guys.
That was on 4th down.
Yeah. And that would have been ball game.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our overtime rules. Each team gets a possession. You have the coin toss for who chooses to be an offense or defense first. No game clock, obviously, and if you reach a third overtime, you have to go for 2 after you get a touchdown. And we're saying, does this impact Pat Fitzgerald's decisions in overtime with his kicker Demos struggling?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this. I was sitting up here watching this game. It speaks volumes for the 2 head coaches, what they've done with their programs. Gene Chizik in his first year at Auburn, getting a staff together and getting the players together. Cody Burns earlier in the year, he was fighting for the quarterback job and didn't get it, and spoke to the team and said, hey, listen, I don't want this to be a divisive thing. I want this to pull us together. I'm going to play. I got beat out at quarterback. I'm going to go and help the team win. And then on the other side, Pat Fitzgerald, what a great job he has done bringing these guys back.
Hey, guys, this is a review. That's a heads. That's a tail. It's going to be your choice, your call. Tail. It is tail. You win the toss. Defense. We're going to choose defense, which end of the field we're going to Northwestern has won the toss and chose to play defense. We will play at that end of the field.
So Northwestern winning the toss, and this way they'll know what they're faced with when they get an opportunity. Chris Todd has played well for Auburn throwing the football. Meanwhile, a couple fumbles by Auburn the last 2 times they've had the ball.
Now, when you're playing at home, at a home game, you always want to go to the loudest end of the stadium. Now, I look down here to the right, and it looks like there's more purple down there than there is orange and blue. So it looks like it might be good for Northwestern to be at that end of the stadium.
Why did Auburn choose that side of it then?
I don't understand.
Why do they choose the other side?
I don't understand that.
Maybe they're counting, I don't know, second overtime. I don't know. What's the odds of a second overtime?
Because you look at the other end zone and it's all orange and blue.
Well, you know, I would like to see Auburn give Ben Tate the football because he's starting to get a little bit of a momentum going, and he's run good the last 2 times. Plus, he fumbled. He's your senior. Give him the rock and let him make amends for his mistake of fumbling the ball 2 series ago.
Yeah.
First down at the 25. Start of overtime here in the 2010 Outback Bowl. Todd pulls it down, looking deep, and well overthrown. Intended for Zachary. Here's Rob Stone.
Well, Dave, one reason, guys, that they may have decided to go in this direction, the wind will be at their back. You've seen how many challenges the wind has presented with the kicking game and even the passing game throughout the day. So maybe Auburn trying to take that factor out of the equation.
El Demos missed the field goal going the other way into the wind a little bit at the end of regulation for Northwestern. Each team gets a timeout here in overtime. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers.
Let's see if the audible by Northwestern will counter the audible made by Auburn's offense.
And it's a handoff to Tate. He's to the outside. Inside the 15 and reaches the 10-yard line. Good play there by Todd.
What was that? A backdoor?
Yeah.
A little backdoor handoff.
And Ryan Pugh got away with a hold on Nate Williams. He kind of horse-collared Nate Williams, the middle linebacker. Ben Tate read the block, cut it to his right. Good positive yardage.
First down and goal. Here's Tate again to the 5-yard line. Over on ESPNU, West Virginia and Purdue, and college basketball matchup of 2 top 6 teams. That game will come back over to ESPN once we're done here in Tampa.
Keep giving to it. Well, he's coming out of the game, but I would keep giving it to Tate. I mean, he's a powerful guy. They haven't stopped him in the red zone yet.
Keep in mind, Burns has thrown 2 interceptions today when he's come in as the Wildcat quarterback. Here Burns is going to run. And he gets hit at the 4-yard line. He was tripped up initially by Williams, cleaned up by Sherrick McManus. It brings up 3rd and goal. They'll bring Todd back in.
You got Tommy Trott out here at 6'5", which is always a benefit for the red zone receiver. Adams up top. Big day so far.
Todd back to throw. End zone. It's tipped and incomplete. It's 4th down. And Auburn will bring on the field goal team.
He's going for Trott right here to throw the high ball.
It was. It just got a little bit too much confusion in there.
Quinn Davey got a hand on it.
Yeah.
Helps being 6'4", the linebacker. Something I wouldn't know anything about.
Wes Byram on for a short field goal try. 21 yards. Give Auburn the lead. Northwestern will have a possession. And it's good. So Auburn leads at 38-35. Let's go back to the studio before Northwestern gets a turn. Here's Ryan Bird.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Just getting you an update now. West Virginia and Purdue. The game has been moved to ESPNU, so if you want to check that out, it's over on ESPNU. This is Jones for 3. The game tied at 10 right now, so good one brewing. West Virginia and Purdue back for the conclusion overtime, guys.
All right, Ryan, looking forward to that. Over on ESPN again once we're done here on ESPNU right now. So Auburn guys by 3, and Pat Fitzgerald has watched this team come back twice in this game from 2 scores down as Kafka really has settled in. So what are you doing now that maybe Kafka's got more confidence?
Well, you're doing what you've done in the last 2 or 3 drives, and that is play solid football. Don't try to force anything.
Chris, do you take any chances here if you're Kafka?
Well, yeah, I think you play to win. If you know something or you feel something, you run it. See what kind of defense. Auburn's playing a zone defense.
He's handed off to Markshausen. He's going to try to throw it back to Kafka, who is well covered. Auburn not fooled. Markshausen gets a block, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 21. Well, they're going to take a chance there. They're going for the win.
That's a man beater. And that was good discipline by Ted Roof's defense. Being in a zone coverage helped them defend that play. If that was man coverage, nobody ever accounts for the quarterback. And they were expecting man. I guarantee you, Pat Fitzgerald was expecting man coverage.
So a gain of 4. Good job by Markshausen not to force it. Kafka over the middle. Markshausen lost it. It's ruled a fumble. It's loose. Kafka picks it up. It's still live. Now a couple of penalty flags fly in downfield at the spot of the fumble. It was ruled a catch and a fumble, a recovery by Kafka, but again, penalty flags down. Did he ever secure it, guys?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
And let's see what the penalty is. I don't know if they're going to get somebody for late hit because it was thrown back by Markshausen. The flags, to me, I don't know if he had complete possession of that football. I don't think he did.
And had Auburn recovered that fumble, it would have been the game. They're first going to figure out the flags, but every play is reviewed, so upstairs the technical advisor already taking a look at this to determine whether it was a catch or not.
You see if it's after. Remember, there are 2 flags, as you said, Dave, right down there in the field. It's yet to be determined.
Again, the rule on the field, the ruling of the field initially was a catch and a fumble. Now, one of the officials may have had a better look and said, I think it's incomplete, and so they may change the ruling. But again, they got to figure out what the flags are first. 2 flags thrown in the same area by 2 different officials. One came in after the play. Now the flags are being picked up.
Illegal bat, number 17 of Auburn. That penalty will be enforced half the distance from the previous spot. It'll be first down on the 11.
Wow, how about that call, guys? So it's ruled a catch, a fumble, and an illegal bat of the ball by Auburn. So it's a first down for Northwestern.
Josh Bynes, and in other words, he bats the ball forward.
But they are reviewing the previous play, guys. Further reviewing the previous play to see whether this indeed was a catch. So it might all be for naught.
For an incomplete pass. Now we see Josh Bynes will come in here. Markshausen goes for now. Oh, that's on
Thorpe.
Nico Thorpe coming in.
Yeah, it was Thorpe.
Well, that's a
Bynes.
I don't know if he's going for the football and he just misses. I mean, he's making a great effort to get to the football.
No, he looks like he bats it.
Let's take a look.
Knocks it away.
Yeah, it looks like he knocked it away. Why not just dive on it, though? Now they're looking again to see whether Markshausen even had possession. And it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling of the field that it's a catch. At this point, Northwestern wants it to be a catch because if it's incomplete, it's third down. If the ruling of the field stands, it's a first down for Northwestern.
Because of the penalty.
Yeah.
I'm 0 for 2 on replays. So I'm going to me, I don't know if he had complete possession of that football. But again, I'm 0 for 2.
It looked like it was moving. It looked like he didn't have possession. But again, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling on the field. Auburn leads by 3 here in overtime.
What a game. First game of the new year, man. College football. Get it started right.
Yeah.
And we're almost at 4 hours here in the length of this game.
After further review, the runner was down prior to the fumble. Therefore, there is no foul for an illegal bat. It will be third down and 1 from the 16.
So they looked at the spot and everything and determined that he was down, that it was a catch, but that he was down a yard short of the first down.
Right. So it wasn't a fumble, so there was no bat, so there was no penalty. So it's 3rd and 1.
Talk about a 4-hour game. That's what you get when one team throws 80 passes.
Literally 74 attempts, 517, now 522. All school records, 46 completions.
Yeah.
He led the Big Ten in completions this year.
How about 73 points?
That's like the difference between 500 billion and 510 billion.
3rd down and 1.
It's been Schmidt time usually, number 39. The inside presence. Wouldn't take a gamble and fake it and hit Brewer, matched up in one-on-one coverage.
No, quarterback sneak. Kafka on the second effort. Certainly got close. May have got it. He did not get it initially, but on the second lunge, I think he got the first down based on where the ball was. And it is a first down for Northwestern.
I'm just impressed with both teams, how they're fighting. Been a lot of plays.
Still in the back of the mind of Pat Fitzgerald is your field goal kicker has been effective. He's had an extra point blocked, and he's missed a field goal to win the game. So, you know, you're not sure that you got to get a field goal out of that kicker.
First down at the Auburn 15. A touchdown to win the game. Here comes a blitz. Kafka in trouble, and he can't get rid of it. They ruin a fumble. Auburn's got it. Tigers win the game. They may spend some more time looking at this to see if A, Kafka was down, or B, his arm was going forward, but the initial ruling is a fumble. Greg Stevens had a hold of Kafka, and an Auburn recovery.
Looked like Kafka wanted to get rid of the ball.
Ruling on the field is fumble. Previous play is under further review.
Well, let's see, first of all, was his knee down? No. Well, I don't know. The knee might have been down, and then B, was his arm going forward?
Well, even if it wasn't going forward, the ground cannot cause a fumble. So if the arm was jarred, then he's down.
Looks like he's down, right? Look like the elbow's down.
That's what I mean. That's the point I'm saying, is that the arm cannot cause a fumble.
But his left arm looked down even before that.
Looks like he has possession when he hits the ground.
You see his left forearm's down even before the ball hits the ground.
So he's down. So that's going to be a sack.
Well, again, it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field, which is a fumble.
That replay official's had a few tough calls today.
But look at the left forearm. He looks down.
Yeah.
Which would put the ball at about
doesn't get much
30-yard line, and it makes Demos kick another long field goal. He's already missed 2 today.
Right.
That is if they indeed overturn the ruling on the field.
It doesn't get much more indisputable than that. I mean, he's down.
It looks like he's down.
What a way to start 2010.
After further review, the quarterback was down. The ball will be placed. Second down.
So it's second down at the 31-yard line. That should be where the spot is. But again, if you can't move the ball, you're forcing Demos to kick a long field goal again. They're going to spot it at the 30.
Kafka is living on the edge.
They win this game?
The sack, the near sack by Fairley. They got him on the face mask.
We got a two-man bunch right here. And let's see what type of route they run off of it. Auburn's in a zone package.
Throw it to the left.
Yep. Kafka's pass, and there's contact. Thorpe and Stewart. No flag. It is third down and about 24.
Yeah, now you work to get your field goal kicker in the best possible play. So you want to get a little 10-yard gain. I wouldn't even be surprised if they run that little quarterback draw here to get some type of yardage, to at least give him a chance.
Kafka looking to the sideline. Now he's ready. Play clock at 10. Kafka to the air. Hit as he throws. Markshausen on the catch. And he got about 12. He's well short of the first down, but that will make it much easier 36. For Demos. Yeah. Again, he's missed from 44 and 48.
And an extra point blocked.
Yep. He got a little bit of wind behind him. This to tie the game and send it to a second overtime. It's a 37-yard attempt. Demos' kick is no good. Auburn wins.
The flag. They got a flag down there. They're going to get him.
Penalty flag thrown at the 26-yard line. If it is roughing, even though it's 4th and 14, so if it's roughing, it's a first down.
Roughing the kicker, number 46 of the defense.
Roughing the referee.
Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal, first down.
How about this? I've said Auburn's won the game twice.
Yes.
Yet Northwestern still has the ball with a chance to win. They'll get a fresh set of downs.
Oh.
Wow, is that... It easily just called that running into the kicker, which had been a 5-yard penalty.
No, that's roughing.
You think
That's
so?
roughing. A guy on one leg, and you hit him like that?
Well, you didn't see him.
I don't care if you didn't see him.
Usually you only have one corner rusher.
Demos hurt. Now that's the other issue. He's your only kicker. He's your punter, your field goal kicker, your kickoff guy, and now he's shaking up.
Well, you don't need a punter, and you don't need a kickoff guy, but you do need somebody to kick field goals and extra points in overtime.
They have a guy, Steve Flaherty, a freshman from Chicago, that they could go to. And Brandon Williams is another guy that they could try, and it looks like Williams, who's not even on the depth chart, not even on the flip card that we get here at the Outback Bowl, would be the guy if Demos can't kick. But meanwhile, it's a first down and goal, and Northwestern can obviously win the game with a touchdown.
Yeah. Anytime you have a kicker that's on one leg, he is protected by that official. You got to stay away from him. The field goal, incidentally, hit the goalpost. When you come around that edge and you're trying to block that ball, you got to make sure that you don't run into that kicker.
So Northwestern with a fresh set of downs from the 9-yard line. A touchdown would win the game.
Yes.
For Northwestern.
Yes.
Where we said Auburn's won it twice.
Yes.
Kafka has it complete to Markshausen. Thorpe on the stop. I know Cats normally had 9 lives. Northwestern's had about 400 in this game. They've been down 14 points on 2 different occasions in this game. Come back, and here we are in overtime. They ruled that an incompletion. They said Markshausen did not complete the catch, so it's 2nd and goal.
Well, I would come back to that play because he had Brewer open in the corner of the end zone, and that was off that bunch look. And they're going to go to it to this side, up to the left. They're all tight formation over there.
Play clock is down to 5. Kafka going to get hit. He gets away from a defender. Kafka tucking and running and knocked out of bounds after a gain of 1 or 2 by Darren Bates. It brings up 3rd down and goal.
This is what you have right here. You've got one shot, one play to win the ball game, and then you've got to bring somebody out to try a field goal.
Steve Flaherty has been warming up for Northwestern. As you see Demos there in the background, still hobbling. 3rd and goal from the 7.
You got single coverage on the top.
Playing man.
Kafka has time. Everybody covered. Kafka to the 5-yard line, and it's 4th down. So Flaherty straps on the helmet, and he'll get ready to go out there here on 4th down to try to send it to a 2nd overtime.
Go get him, son.
Hey,
That's Coach Fitzgerald. Yeah.
They've been up in Chicago, up in Northwestern. They're coming down to Tampa for a week. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to.
And it's a fake. And to the 2. Now ball comes out. Auburn wins. How about that decision to go for the fake guys on a short field goal?
Wow.
Agree or disagree?
Well, I don't know what you have in Flaherty. I really don't. So it's hard for me to say. I don't know. But I know this.
Hey, they lived this way the whole season. They gambled the whole time. They probably liked that play as much as they liked that 2-point play down here that tied it up.
And it would have been about a 22-yard field goal. The direct snap to Dan Persa. No, it wasn't Persa. It was Markshausen, and Auburn was not fooled.
Great job by Auburn of running and hustling. Nico Thorpe with the game-saving tackle. Carter stretching it out, number 45. Great job of Carter and Nico Thorpe defeating their blocks and saving the day for the Tiger defense and the Tiger team.
No flags.
That's the third.
No review.
Yeah, that's
Look,
the
they're
third
on the
time.
ground.
They're running out on the field for the third time.
Guys are saying we can finally throw our helmets as high into the air as we want because we don't have to put them back on. The reaction from Northwestern coach Pat Fitzgerald with the gamble here in the bowl game on 4th down. It doesn't pay off. Let's check in with Rob.
Well, Coach, it's official. You can celebrate this victory now. You and I have been talking right now. The craziest thing you've ever seen, craziest game? Oh, no! Why you got to drag me in with that, man?
I'll take it every time after that one right there, Rob. Hey, I didn't know what to do. Everything was going back and forth. I thought we won it twice, lost it twice. I wasn't sure what went. But, hey, man, our guys kept fighting. Somewhere we found a way to win it at the end.
Did you think something was up on that fake to conclude the game?
Well, we did. We were kind of motioning out there. Obviously, with a new kicker in the game, they didn't feel good about it. So we're kind of ready for something. Our guys are really smart. You can see them pointing it out right there, and they made a good play at the end.
How many times did you think you won this game?
Maybe 2 or 3, Rob. I lost count of them some way. We could not make this win easy. We somehow made it hard, but I'm so blessed. I'm so happy for our fans and our kids and War Eagle.
Happy New Year. Thanks, Coach.
You, Rob. You too.
How about a 4-hour game, guys, to start the new year?
Loved every minute of it.
Auburn 38, Northwestern 35 in overtime. West Virginia and Purdue underway. You'll see that game up next here on ESPN. It's been a great year for our crew. Chris Spielman, Bob Greasy, Rob Stone, our producer Bart Fox, director Kelly Atkinson, and our wonderful crew. I'm Dave Pash. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The Auburn Tigers are the 2009 Outback Bowl champs. Now let's finally go to Dave O'Brien in West Lafayette.